Oh, we are live. We are live. Yes, sir. Had to do this episode 2 of Draft Express for y'all tonight, man. It's your boy Kamish Mula in the building with my guy J.O.
Yes,
My guy
sir.
Mari. My guy Mari feeling a little under the weather. He was going to pop out for y'all, but my boy's sick. So shout out to Mari as he, let's show him some love as he's healing, getting better. But J.O., man, we got episode 2 of Draft Express. And we about to go through these overseas players. So my guy
Yep.
Jo was like second man in charge here in the SBA. You feel me? He pretty much does everything that I do. So I figured who better than to, you know, check out these guys on this rough 100 list, this rough top 100 combine list than my guy Jo. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Glad to
shout out
be
to
here.
my guy PV in the chat, man. PV. Let me get a
Peace.
hashtag our league in the chat if you rocking with us. League members only. You know how we come in, man. But definitely, man, this is the Simulation Basketball Association for those who don't know. And if you ain't in tune yet, you got to get in tune because like we the fastest growing simulation league out there. We about to be monetized on YouTube. We made a year, no, November 25th. We made 1 year, and season 2 is about to start. We still have time for applications, so get your applications in ASAP. Head to our Instagram at SBA.2K or at SBA.academia, or you would go to at Mulaverses. I should have put it at the bottom ticker, but make sure you head over there and get to the link in our bio, or you could just drop a comment here and we'll be sure to get that link to you. We got a dope community. Shout out to my guy Ariel Severio in the building, MVP of the overseas league, and we got that Draft Express coming your way. So don't go nowhere, Ariel. But yeah, man, we locked in. I got my guy Jo with me. We're gonna get into these games. Before we get into these games, though, my guy Jo cooked up some fire graphics, and we're gonna show y'all how many people we got on this list today, and we're gonna go through the whole overseas each team like we did in college for the
Mhm.
college guys, but after we could kind of show y'all the list that we already had made, for those guys. So let me
Mhm.
get to this graphic real quick. My guy Jo cooked this up for us. Yeah.
Sir.
Jo doing what he do. So it's
Of course.
93 out of 100 players so far. 8 viewers live. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Drop that subscription.
Mhm.
It is the Commish Moolah, the Simulation Basketball Association. Can't spell simulation without moolah. You feel me? That's just how I go. But yeah, man. So shout out to my guy D'Angelo Cannon, PV, and Ariel Severio in the building. These are users in our leagues. If you don't see what's going on, we a sim league, we got users. You gotta get in tune or you gotta get lost, man. But we're gonna get into the top 100. So we got the combine coming up because we had high school, college, overseas, and the pros. So now we got the combine coming up. And in this combine, we're gonna have players from each series in this combine, the top 100 out of each series. So there won't be any high school guys, no guys coming from high school, but there will be a mix of college and overseas guys that were good enough to make the top 100. So we went through the statistics of the college guys. If you want to check that out, be sure to go back and check out episode 1. You can also watch the college full live streams on our YouTube. We're working on full game highlights. We had a few already dropped, so make sure you tune into those as well. But today we're doing the overseas guys, man. So
Yes, sir.
college, I think we had what 26 guys. So
26. Yeah.
so overseas it was what overseas it was
About
what
67.
67. So 67 guys made it on this list so far, and that's what we basically about to go through. But before we go through that, y'all see declared there, right? Y'all see them headlines for declared. I'm about to show y'all graphics of a few guys this week that made their declaration for the SBA drive and the SBA combine. So these were guys that the whole league knew was talented enough to get in the combine, but now they finally entered their bid. Let's see who we got. So starting off, we got Wendell Fields. Wendell Fields
Ooh.
from Hope Tel Aviv, number 19. I want to say he's like an undersized 2, but he can be a scoring 1. As you can see, he can play make a bit. But Wendell Fields, look at those stats: 24 points, 3 rebounds, 5.5 assists, 1 steal, and 54 three pointers made in what, 11 games? Yeah,
11
50,
games.
54 3 pointers made in 11 games. So Wendell Fields, man, what you think about this guy, Wendell Fields, JL? Let me hear your take on
Man,
this guy.
if y'all that for y'all that don't know, I am a huge fan of this guy with no Fields, man. He is just straight buckets. Like that's why he got the basket next to his name. Straight buckets. He'll give you 40 on a good night. He'll give you solid 20 and 8 on a, if you feeling like it. Like he's gonna be one of those guys that maybe not a cornerstone of your franchise, but he's definitely going to be a pivotal part of a championship roster in the pros. And that boy going to the draft, man, it's going to be exciting to see where he end up. Who's going to be his teammates? Because once Wendell Fields, I feel like he's more of a Gilbert Arenas, right, type. Like once he's on the floor, he getting buckets, and give him the ball and move the hell out the way. So I'm excited to see where he goes.
Most definitely, Wendell Fields. So that was one of the first new declarations. Of course, my guy Tyon definitely declared a long time ago. So some of the guys that you're seeing declare is guys that just announced, so you may have not known that they went. It's not the guys who already was like, I'm going since the beginning. And as we get more declarations, we will definitely post those as well. But next up on the list, we got a declaration from none other than
Oh,
Jamal Owens himself. So we got Jo, the second major charge behind the scenes, and then we got Jo, the player here, man. College Series 1, he averaged 16.4 points for Kentucky, 2.2 rebounds, and 2.2 assists, shooting 49% from the field and 38% from the three-point line. So, Jo, what do you see for your player in the future? You declared you want to go. What
that's
was it
right.
that ultimately made you say, "Yo, nah, it's time"? Because I know you was on the fences. You wanted to come back. You was thinking about transferring. You was thinking about going overseas. What made you say, "Nah, like it's time to just take my game to the next level and establish myself as a SBA player"?
Right, right. Well, first of all, the buzz around the pros is insane. I definitely want to be one of those first guys to have his name called in that first pro SBA draft. Get in there early. Another thing is looking at some of these college guys. I'm gonna talk about college. Is like I feel like I belong there. Like
Shout out 5'9" in the building. Shout out to Sha.
shout out Shah Hall. But no, I feel like I belong there. I know it was an underwhelming season to say the least for us Kentucky boys. But I held my own. I proved that I wasn't just a pushover. I know obviously Trevon Grayson, number one player in the nation for a good while there, was leading the charge, but I think you see me in the rec, you see me, in other content as well. I can be that guy, and I think any team that decides to draft me, they ain't gonna be making a mistake. As we know, we got the simulation coins. Currently, I'm number one in simulation coins.
For sure, for sure.
Um,
Simulation coin, stack that SC, guys. I'm
Stack it.
telling y'all, and y'all want to get those spins now. I'm telling y'all, make sure
Hmm.
y'all pay attention to the content on the page. Make sure y'all engage. Make sure y'all tuning in because for now on, the most active guys are getting spins, attribute spins. Attribute spins are going to be temporary boosts based on activity. So if you're a guy that's commenting on the full game highlight videos, you're watching the videos, you're tuning, you're engaged, you're in the Discord chat. I'm gonna be tuning in for that, and I'm gonna be hitting you with random spins. We got the wheel spinner in the Discord, and I'm gonna have different set of attributes that you're gonna gain from your activity at certain periods. You still can earn SC as well, but we're definitely using that, and I'm gonna use activity for potential because I understand there's guys that want to be that's gonna be active for certain periods, right? Say you're going through something in life and you always here, but now you're going through something you're not here for a while. If that's the case, the times that you're the most active, if you're active for weeks, months at a time, we're making your potential go up. So that way you're establishing your players foundation in this league, and you'll be able to grow more than a guy who never had active periods, if that makes sense.
Right,
So during the
right.
season you'll be able to progress a little more than a guy that just checks in that's not really here, that's not really engaged. So you want to be in tune and you want to make sure, you tapped in and you paying attention to those things. I just been thinking of different ways to implement, you know, incentives for activity. Like I'm not the type of guy that's gonna kick you out the league for being active. Like we're not doing that. Like I'm not gonna lie, I don't have time to keep up. I don't like when players are just disappearing. So I'm not gonna just like delete you for being inactive. But I will make your player take a hit. He will fall off. He might take an injury that makes him fall off. You get what I'm saying? That potential may not be super high, so he may not progress, if that makes sense. So I want to add certain incentives for the active guys because activity is still important, even though we're not kicking guys for not being active. So
Right,
shout
right.
out to all the active guys, Luzone in the building. Shout out to my guy JJ. Um, shout out to my guy the Five Show. Shout out to my guy JT Carter. Shout out to all my SBA guys. Let me get a hashtag our league. Make sure you hit the like button if you haven't already. Pavo in the building,
Hey,
aka
these boys
Deshaun
coming out tonight.
Nakano, the IMG Academy star, man. Can't wait to see what he do in the can't wait to see what he do either in academy or you never know. Maybe Nakano gets into that draft. We got that overseas draft. That's another
Mhm.
thing we could talk about for a minute. We also have an overseas draft, which we're gonna be implementing this season. It's going to be two, maybe three rounds of players from the college series and potentially the high school series if guys want to go the overseas route. So if you were in high school and you're talented enough to go the overseas route, you can enter the overseas draft. Um, but if you are a college guy and you want to test the waters overseas, then you can do that too. You can enter the overseas draft. I don't recommend you enter the overseas draft if you're already in the SBA draft because it makes no sense. SBA is the ticket, the
Mhm.
big show. But if you're a guy in college that had a decent year, you like, you know what, I want to see what's up over there. You can get into that draft as well. So yeah, high school guys, you could either stay academy, which is college, or you can, go overseas. Especially guys like Nakano, who was I know a top guy, and JJ saying he might take his chances. I was already assuming that you were ready to go, JJ, because you were talented enough for the SBA. So you'll see what's going on if you stay in tune. But Jo, man, Jo, one of those guys at Kentucky, very active guy. Like I'm gonna just give my quick perspective on Jo. He's active. Like it is what it is. That's why he's the second man in charge here. That's why he helps me with a lot behind the scenes. So he has SC. He stacked it organically. He never bought SC. He hasn't got anything for like nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like he's been here putting the work in, and he's number one in SC. He averaged 16, 2 and 2 at the college level, shot good percentages. That's developable. When you know that a guy is active, when you know that a guy has a solid foundation as a build, the rest is history. I think Jo has all the tools to be a star in this league. Averaging 16, in college, that's good. Still a lot of good competition there. So I'm excited to see what he does in the combine for sure. And next up, we're gonna keep it at the college series. We got the baby goat, Deshaun Evans out of North Carolina, 25.3 points on the season, four
Dog.
rebounds, 4.7 assists, 1.1 steals, and 47% from the field. This guy right here, they call him the baby goat for a reason. When I say this
Mhm.
kid can do it all, he can do it all. He can score, he can rebound, he can guard, he can play make. He can shoot. Like he can shoot the three ball, he can shoot the mid range, he can shoot out the post, he can go to the hole. Like this guy could give it to you on all three levels. And like it's literally like it was a joke about him being positionless, and he's truly a positionless
He
player.
really
So
is.
um the biggest knock on him is team success. North Carolina did not have a good season. You would go check that out in our playlist as well. And because he was the top guy for a team that didn't perform well, they're like, okay, now we got to see, is the talent really there? Can the talent equate to wins? And that's going to be the biggest question mark for Deshaun Evans at the pro level. Can he play winning basketball? And what does winning basketball look like for Deshaun Evans? So that's my spill on him, Jo. How you feel about the baby goat?
I mean, you said it perfectly, right? That man is positionless. I mean, guy. I've seen him play every single position. Obviously, playing against him was a very tough game. I think I had my worst performance against him. Like he's a tough two-way player. He's a stat sheet stuffer. You know, as you can see, I mean, 25 points ain't easy. You know what I mean? Like even if
for
you are a
sure.
number one guy, 25 points a night is still not easy in this college
It's
series.
definitely still not easy for sure.
Shooting it efficiently too, 47%. Like that's very tough. He's a star in the making. You know, I'm pretty sure his storyline was he was supposed to be at Kentucky, right? Uh,
Hmm.
he was supposed to be at Kentucky, but he hurt his foot.
Definitely was supposed to be at
Um,
Kentucky.
so you know, it set him back a little bit, but he's come back stronger than ever. You see the stats. If you watch the college series, you'll see sometimes like he keeps UNC in the game. You know, that's the one thing about him. Like, yeah, we talk about his team success and it not really being there and him struggling, but there were some games where UNC looked like they were down and out, and he took it over. He took over games. That's what he does. That's why we call him the baby goat. So he's definitely going to be a star in this league. I'm thinking one of the top few rounds. A team.
Hmm.
This guy is the guy that you build your team around. He is a
Definitely.
cornerstone to your roster, and you build around this guy, right? This guy's going to be in the league. He's going to tear it up. All stars. Hell, man, even win MVP. Defensive
Facts.
player of the year candidate. Like
Facts.
he
Facts.
he
Facts.
has it all. He has it all. So
And
it's
he's
only
an
a matter
active
of time.
user. And he's
He's
an
an
active
active user
user. So
too.
he gets SC. Like I think he's like top 10 in SC,
Hmm.
if I'm not mistaken. So and he did that organically. Another guy that didn't pay. So that's what I love about the SBA. Like we make it possible for you to like compete with activity just the same way a guy can pay. Like, at the end of the day, we still have lives. You know what I'm saying? There's still gotta be a business. We still want to be able to, make this thing even bigger. So,
Right.
like we definitely appreciate the guys that invest in the league and help us grow. Big shout out to Pharaoh Reigns. Big shout out to Olin Santos. Big shout out to Baba TV. Big shout out to DJ Watts. Big shout out to AJ. Big shout out to the whole Patreon crew. It's more guys out there too. I apologize for not, being able to get to everybody. There's a lot of guys that showed love on the Patreon. We did really well in the first season on Patreon and then SC sales. So I just want to like say, big shout out to you guys in the SBA community. Like hashtag our league. Like we truly did our thing. And like that's what makes us like, go so much harder. That's what makes us like take a step back, fix up the structure, and do what we need to do to keep this thing going because
Hmm.
you guys kept it going. Like although, like it was time periods where we took off as like things were going on in real life, like jails at LSU in college.
Right. Facts.
I'm, moved back to New York. Got my studio. Got a 2-year-old. You know what I'm saying? Just moved into my new place. So like we, like we're putting it together. We're getting, we're finding our groove slowly but surely, and we just gotta keep believing in what we're doing and keep pushing and keep believing and just doing what we do here in the SBA. So appreciate you guys once again for the Patreon love, all the donations, everything that you guys, put into this league, even just the activity and the time. Appreciate y'all.
Of course. Big
Yeah,
shout out.
man. So big shout out to y'all on that one because DJ Evans was one of those guys on Patreon as well. It was a lot of guys that just put in a lot of work. And last last but certainly not least, here on this declaration news, we got Ariel Severio himself,
Yes,
the
sir.
Cookie Monster. Ariel Severio, the Cookie Monster, MVP of the overseas series. This guy, Ariel Severio, man, 22.5 points per game, 6.1 rebounds, 5.1 assists, 3.2 steals. This guy averaged 3 steals
Man.
overseas against grown men. He averaged 3.2 steals, shot 38% from the field. But like shout out to Ariel Severio. Like this guy right here is another guy who is a prime example of our league,
Hmm.
super active in the chat, one of the best teammates you can have, one of the best league members, one of the most active guys. Like he checks all the boxes, and you
All
know he's gonna be a guy that's gonna like wreak havoc,
of them.
like just in this league. It's just crazy. So he's definitely going to that combine. And Ariel Severio, man, the MVP of the overseas, 23-year-old guard out of CB Canarias. So shout out to my guy Ariel Severio, man. He potentially could be number one overall. There's a lot of
Good.
teams, a lot of rumblings
Mhm.
based on the teams. We didn't reveal the pro teams yet, and we are gonna do a randomizer to see who gets the first pick and stuff like that. But a lot of pro teams have been hitting our line talking about this guy Ariel Severio. A lot of GMs is like, look, I would love to start my organization with a guy like him because he is the foundation of your team day
Mhm.
one. He is the true leader day
Day
one.
one.
You don't need a user coach because like what we're doing with these AI coaches and a guy like him, that's your franchise. That's how you start your franchise. Much like you said with DJ Evans, you start your franchise with this piece and then you go from there. Like
Mhm.
it's no beating it. Like Ariel Sever, imagine getting Ariel Severio, guy who communicates in the locker room with his teammates, a guy who you know is gonna show up.
I
How do
mean,
you miss?
for sure, for sure. Like, I mean, as you can see, we call him the Cookie Monster for a reason. 3.2 steals. I mean, my goodness, this
My
man
God,
was locking up top point guard talent. I'm talking like these dudes was dogging. He was locking them up every single time. Put
facts.
always
Shout
put
out to
being
C
put on
Cross in the chat.
the best offensive player. Like he is that dude, and they in the overseas championship right now for a reason. This
Yep,
guy
they're
right
in the
here.
chip for a reason. Like this guy got a chance to be a. Not only is he the MVP, he got a chance to be a champion. And like this is why I wanted to tuck that overseas chip because I knew, like, I just like it's certain things that it's always a method to my madness, guys, and you just got to stick with me because I know this is not going nowhere. So when I have the high school doing what it's doing, those guys are active, the hype brewing. I knew I wanted it to all come to his head at some point where we have the overseas guys top of their game, high school guys top of their game, and now we're about to have the high school tournament. And then when the high school championship comes, we're gonna have the overseas and high school championships. Like it's like, bro, what a better time to be in the SBA because right after that, we on 2K24 with the combine and then
Mhm.
the very first season of SBA. Like, come on, bro. Those series of events is crazy. High school championship, overseas championship, SBA combine, SBA draft, SBA season one. Come on, bro. That's an epic intro.
Yep.
That's an epic rollout. Like, you feel me? So
Mhm.
we just gotta stick to it, do what we do. Shout out to my guy C Roy. Shout out to my guy Ariel Severio. He declared he will be entering the combine. He will be going to the draft. Big shout out to him, man. And it's about to be lit, man. It's
Yes,
about to be
sir.
lit.
The Ooter is in the building.
And that's what I'm saying. It's all about growth, Luzon. You know, it definitely wasn't like this in college. I'm sorry that y'all got a different experience, but we get better over time. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what we supposed to do. You know, we got better now.
Facts.
Systems in place. We could do what we do. So now it's time for the spreadsheets, guys.
Oof.
Time for the spreadsheets. Y'all know how we did the last draft express. Now we about to get in depth and really figure out how. I mean, who is about to make this top 100 rough list. And like we said, we already got 93 players, so we just gonna go through and like just review those players with you guys.
Mhm.
So Jo, should we just go to like just the players instead of like the teams and going through all the guys?
Yeah,
That'll
yeah,
take more
yeah.
time, right? We should just go directly to players, right?
Yeah, we
So
can do
should I
that.
pull up the list and just show them the list or
Facts. Let's do it.
okay? This is not in order, guys. This is not
Not
in
in
order.
order.
It's not in order, guys. This is just a rough list as we were going through. It's
Mhm.
no order. Usually we put it in order after the podcast, but this is just a rough list so we could go through the stats real quick and talk to you guys through. So as you can see, number one, Russ Macy. If we already spoke about this person because they declared earlier, then we'll just skip over them. Like Ariel Severio, we just went over, spoke about him, went over his stats. We good. But Russ Macy. Russ Macy was a
Phew.
problem. I'm telling y'all
Man.
right now, what probably he's another guy that could be potentially number one overall.
Yeah, he
Check out
was
Russ
that good.
Macy's stats, guys. Check out Russ Macy's stats. 22.8 points per game overseas, 15.3 rebounds per game, 1.6 assists, one steal, 2.5 blocks, 67% from the field, and 53% from the three-point line. I'm not gonna lie, that it was tough between him and Ariel for MVP.
Mhm.
And when I look at it, it's very tough on number one overall, bro. Number
it's
one
very
overall.
tough.
Russ Macy may be number one. I would say the top three right now for number one overall, in my opinion, is Ariel Severio, Russ Macy, and DJ House.
Yep, yep.
Maybe a sneaky Grayson, but because I don't know where his activity is at. That's the only reason why he's
Hmm.
sneaky, because I could maybe see an organization landing that first pick and being like, I want Grayson, especially if he's active. But
Right, right.
not active, now he slips to that, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe
Yeah.
seventh, eighth pick, ninth pick type of thing, maybe
Hmm.
to me, lottery pick.
Hmm.
But I don't know, man. This is about to
Hey,
be very interesting. Russ Macy, do you see those stats for Russ
dude.
Macy, bro?
I mean, and these, I'm not gonna lie to you, these stats are underwhelming considering what they actually look like in game. I mean, you see the stats, that 41 and 18. Like he was giving you that type of just grit. Like every time he gets the ball, I mean, you see the efficiency. Every time he gets the ball, everyone's a mismatch to him. Like there was no one
That
that could really guard this guy. Like
nah,
that's
you're
how
right.
like we think DJ House was great because like there was no one that could stop him. This was DJ House times two. It felt like watching him
Definitely. No, facts. That's exactly what it felt like. DJ House that could shoot the three ball, bro.
do the
Like
three
what? What? That can shoot the three at a
high clip.
super high level. Like he was 16 for 30 on the year. So he wasn't shooting it at a super high rate. He was averaging maybe two threes a game.
Mhm.
But like, you know what I'm saying? He was shooting maybe an average of, four, five the most. So it's like he's shooting it at an efficient rate. He's a big man. This guy might rival, a Ariel and a DJ
Right,
House for number one pick. Like
right, right. And
international guys, crazy.
he gives you the defense, man. That rim protection is something
But let's
else,
see.
like
Let's see
for
who's
sure.
next on that list. Let's see who else is on that list. We got next up, we got Christian Ross on the list, and they're on the same team. Most of them is gonna be close to the teams like that because I went through like
Mhm.
literally it's in the order of how I went through. It's not in a particular order. So Christian Ross,
Man, oh
23
man.
points per game. This was the shooter of the year. We have a shooter of the year award here in the SBA for each series, and Christian Ross was the Saudi of.
Saudi.
That's what we call it, the Saudi. Like he is the Saudi for the overseas. This kid is out, lights out. Might be the best shooter in the SBA. I gotta see him next to Slick,
Yeah.
and I gotta see him next to Slick and a few guys. There's a few other guys too,
Hmm.
honorable mention, but I gotta see Slick and Christian Ross in the shootout because these guys, when they are hot,
Oh,
bro,
it's like like he couldn't miss. He could not miss. Like it just felt like even if Albert Berlin was out of the game, even down 10, you give Christian Ross four possessions, they up two. Like
yes,
that's literally
yes.
how it felt.
Steph Curry, Clay Thompson esque. Like this dude can hit like. Bro, he can hit five threes out of nowhere any point in the game.
In
Any
a
point in
row.
the game. He could be cold and then out of nowhere five threes. It's like this dude is like tough. He has the record for 3 pointers in the game, I believe, this year with
Mhm.
10 threes. He shot 17 threes. And he shoots it at a high rate. Like we will say he is a volume
Yes.
shooter. But when you can make 10 of 17 threes,
Yes.
when you can make 7 of 11, when you can make 6 of 12, you will have some 4 for 9, 3 for 12s in there. But when you can make 5 of 10, 6 of 12, I'm gonna take my chances on you. Me, as a coach, as a GM, I'm gonna take my chances. So,
Mhm.
um, Christian Ross, man, I see him being a first round. I see him being a first rounder. Of course, there will be 14 picks. I could see him being a top 14 guy. I could see a GM being like, hey, if he's gonna be active, I'm starting my organization with Christian Ross, the shooter. I could see it.
Ross.
He
Yeah.
averaged 22, so you're gonna get, up from there. Then let me see how old C Ross is. C Ross is 22. So at
22
22
years
years
old.
old, oh my God, lethal shooter, 22 years old. He was only 21 doing that. Come on.
It's ridiculous. And I will
He was
say, before we move on, I will say that another underrated part of his game is his finishing ability around the rim. I feel
Facts.
like we talk about his shooting ability and everything, but if you actually watch the games and you paid attention, once he gets his little streaks, like he's not really feeling it from behind the arc, that's when he starts to attack the basket, and his
Nah,
just
definitely.
offensive game is just different. Like at 21 years old,
At
man.
20, at 21, he was doing that. Like that's what I'm saying. To put that in perspective, and now this guy is going to the pros. He's headed to the big show, and I cannot wait to see what Christian Ross has in store for the SBA season one. Man, next up we got Christian Jackson. Well, not Christian, but Chris Jackson, the point guard of Alba Berlin, and this kid was talented as well. I think a lot of talent might have suppressed I hit a lot of what he can do as far as scoring. I think having Russ Macy and Christian Ross might have took his scoring notches down a bit, but he still had a terrific season, averaging 14 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists. Shot 50, no, shot 37%, pardon me, from the field and shot 35% from 3-point line. So them numbers, those shot percentages, they could be worked on, but the production was definitely there for Chris Jackson. And let me know what you thought about him, JL.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, right? When you have two 20+ point per game scorers on the same team, it's very hard to showcase your abilities, right? Because I mean, Christian Ross and Ross Macy, those are your guys. You get them the ball, you win games, right? Chris Jackson's role was to get them the ball, but also once when Christian Ross is, a little tired, right? Come in, run the second unit, and keep him in the game, right? And that's exactly what he did. I mean, you see it, 5.4 assists a game, like he was. He was a playmaker. Yeah, we talk
Absolutely.
about the efficiency and everything. Those numbers can definitely improve, right? But you
Mhm.
giving me 14 when I already got 220 plus,
That's
like
a
that.
that
That's a
that's a
bright
big
spot for
plus.
sure.
Exactly, exactly. And then for that opening night, you see he had a 26, he had 26, 7, and 5 on opening night. And
Hmm.
when he's hot, he's hot. 9 for 16 that game, 5 for 10 from the 3-point line. So you see the flashes in this kid, Chris Jackson. And he's also a user guy. He's not too active. So the potential will take a hit. You know what I'm saying? He may not have the most ceiling, but for what he's at right now is solid as a pro. You know what I mean? Like if where he's at right now and what he showed us in year one as a solid professional. And he's
Hmm.
young. Let me see. I think he's like 22 or 21. Yeah, he's 22 as well. Yeah, so like although he's not going to progress, too fast, he still will progress because he's young. And I think you have a solid piece if you draft a guy like him. You maybe don't pick him up in a early round, but he's a steal whenever you get him. If
Hmm.
you go get studs at every other position and this is the fullback point guard, then you're in good shape.
You're
Like
great shape.
you're in great shape. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? So
Hmm.
big shout out to Chris Jackson, man. Chris Jackson definitely showed flashes. And I will encourage you guys when you hear us talking to these guys and you see the spreadsheets, go check these games out on our overseas playlist, and you can check out the full games to see what these players were doing in these moments and see how their full game came along. But let's move along. Uh, who else we had on this list? Let me see. We got Chris Jackson. We got Jonathan Love. Jonathan Love was a generic guy. Let's head over to Jonathan Love. Let's see. And he was on his team as well. So Jonathan Love, 30 minutes a game. So he was a starter on his team.
Hmm.
10 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. Shot it at a 36% clip. Shot the three ball at 24%. And we all know Jonathan Love was like that Draymond
Hmm.
of Alba Berlin. He played a pivotal role. He guarded the best scorer.
Hmm.
Good size wing. He's a wing player. Just a veteran, like just a good veteran. Let me see how old Jonathan Love is. I don't think he's too old, but he is an older guy, 25 years old.
Hmm.
So yeah, just an older guy, got that strength. Could get his hands dirty in the paint. Could board for you. Could play
Hmm.
anywhere from 2 to 4 at times.
Hmm.
So he's just a guy that like a good professional, a good guy to have
Right.
that you could place in certain situations, and that's why he definitely earned that spot in that rough top 100. and a lot of teams could use his services. Like he's one of those role players that go a long way on championship
Hmm.
teams. Um, Next up, we got Zanu Fenton
Ooh,
out of Anadulo Efes.
that's
Pardon
a lot
me,
to say about this guy.
Zanu Fenton, 32.7 points per game, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, 48% from the field, 39% from the 3-point line. This like Zanu Fenton, another one of those guys. What can't this kid do? This kid can guard. This kid can go to the hole. This kid can. He's not the best 3-point shooter, but he's showing flashes.
Hmm.
He has potential to get better there. He's young as well. Zanu Fenton is 23 years old. 23 years old. This guy is going to be a monster. He was putting up monstrous numbers overseas. Monstrous
Yeah,
number.
I mean,
38 points. 38 points. He back-to-back 38-point nights to begin. Then followed that with back-to-back 29-point games. Then had a 32-point game after that. 24 on the cool down. Season high 42. 28 on the cool down, 22, I'm even cooler, then back to 35, and then 43 to end the season. This kid was electric.
I
And then
mean,
he gives, look at the assist on certain nights. Like, this is James Harden esque,
yep,
if you will.
yep, yep, for sure. I mean, man, there's a lot to say about this guy. I mean, I remember, back when the season ended and we was talking MVP candidates, he was up there. He was the guy that everyone feared for a while. We
Absolutely.
talked about this guy being the best player in the overseas up until the end. Like it was right
Up
there.
until the end, when it started, and that's why winning, and that's why watching what's going on and the awareness of a league is so important because the naked eye would have saw those numbers and be like, how is he not?
Not the
But
best. Yep.
when you watch the game and you see how it translates, when you see the decision making late in games, when you see how he goes cold sometimes late in games, that's what makes you say, okay, there's more to look at here and there's other guys that I can maybe, that's more consistent from a, you know, beginning to end, you know, type of situational basis. So Zenu Fenton is still young, like we said, he's
Yep.
23 years old, so still has a ton of development left.
Mhm.
Already crazy in production right now. He's active. So that's another thing. I don't know how much SC he has, but I'm pretty sure he has a good number to where he can make some things happen. He's active, so he'll be able to earn bonuses, which sounds crazy. Um, but this kid is just all production. Like he could do it on both ends. He locked down some of the top scorers. He scores on them as well. He scores on some of the top defenders. Makes them look silly. Like we got some
Silly.
reels of this guy where he's like shaking bacon, spin move, and one, like he's James Harden esque.
I mean,
Like
yeah,
James Harden is his comparison in the draft, I think.
deepest
If we
bag
got an
in the
NBA
SBA. Yeah.
comparison.
He's got the deepest bag in the
Yeah,
SBA
he's
for
got the
sure.
deepest back. Go check out his games if you want to see what we're talking about because I'm telling you, Zanu Fenton is tough. Tough. So moving on, we got Art Bell, another guy here for Anadolu Ephes. Pardon me if I'm butchering these overseas team names. I'm trying the best I can. We already went over Mangu Bamba with the college guys, so we're gonna skip over him. But look what Mangu was able to do in overseas compared to college. He averaged 20, I believe, in college, and then that 20 went to 14 here. So that just puts in perspective the skill gap, like
Yep.
the difference. You know what I'm saying? Just a quick footnote there, just to show you guys like the scale. Like, yeah, some college guys are on this list with overseas guys, but there is a different scale, guys, because the overseas was just a different level of competition. Mongu averaged 20 in college, went overseas and averaged 14. Of course, it's a different team, different situation. Of course, he did go through some things as well, too, off the court.
Yeah.
But for the most part, there's a skill gap, guys. There's definitely a skills gap. Shout out to my guy Shady McGrady in the building. And Art Bell is another one of those guys that just has so much potential as a scorer. Um Art Bell is 24 years old, so a young, pretty young guy. He's a generic guy, so he will have to develop just based on in game development, whatever his potential is, we leave it. Um, so whatever his potential is will determine his development as well as just how he's playing. But he averaged 15 points, 15.5 in 30 minutes, Jo,
Hmm.
4.3 rebounds, 2 assists, and he shot 38% from the field and 40% from the three-point line. So Art Bell kind of looking like that second guy over there alongside Fenton. And when you got a guy like Fenton who dominates the ball, when I see numbers like this from Art Bell, knowing that he had to do this off ball most times,
Hmm.
I'm liking that. And he's another steal in this upcoming SBA draft. Another steal, mark my word. He's gonna be a great role player or starter on the SBA team.
For sure, for sure. I mean, like you said, that off ball kind of thing. When you have Fenton on the ball, like he's just one of those guys that you just got to get him the ball, and he makes magic happen. So having this kind of guy, I mean, it's kind of similar to the Chris Jackson situation, right? It's like having 15 points from a starter that where you getting 32 from your main guy, like that's very solid. That is very, very good.
Definitely.
I see him. He does play some solid defense too. Don't sleep on it. He's definitely more of a catch and shoot kind of guy. I think I see him playing that role on a championship team. A little underrated, for sure. He's gonna be on some people's radars. Watch out for the name Art
Definitely.
Bell because he gonna be some. He gonna be something
Yeah,
special.
watch out for Art Bell for sure. I think he has a lot of potential to be something in this league. Big shout out to my guy Olin Santos in the building. Hashtag
Block.
our league. My guy O Block in the spot. O Block is the guy who makes these
Mm,
stats possible. We could not do this today without my guy O Block.
mhm,
Big shout out to Olin. He is the guy who, after your games, that's the reason why I'm showing the stats, and he's the guy tracking it. So that way, even if 2K do funny business, we can have the league's history. So big shout out to Olin, man. We couldn't do this without you. You are very much appreciated. And as we grow, we'll definitely make sure you grow too. So
mhm.
appreciate you, my brother. Definitely, bro. I don't even know what I would do without these two dudes right here, Olin and JO. These dudes really helped this league keep going. And next up on this list, we got, let me see. I think I had added some guys here. So Desmond Wallace is on here. I know I added a few guys. So Desmond Wallace, we could go over and uh okay. Desmond Wallace, Dick Wellington. So let me see. Okay, so those was next anyway. So yeah, Desmond Wallace was the backup point guard of Anadolu Efes. He was the backup point guard to Fenton, I believe, right?
Mhm. Fenton.
Yeah. So yeah, he was the backup point guard. He averaged 20 minutes a game. He averaged 8 points, 1 rebound, 2.3 assists, shot 30% from the field and 31% from the three-point line. So this is another guy who just good professional.
Mhm.
Um Desmond Wallace is, let me see, he is how old? Desmond Wallace is 25 years old. So, just good professional. Um, he showed flashes, but when you behind, stars like or
Mhm.
guys that's just above average like Art Bell and a star like Fenton, you're not gonna be able to do too much if we're just being
Mhm.
honest. So he showed what he could. And he wasn't bad. Like I feel like he showed flashes. That 17 3-3 game, those games are like well needed. Then you see some of his 11-5 games,
Mhm.
even the low scoring games. You see like some decent, playmaking production. So he's showing you that within a minute restriction, he could still get some things done because he
Mhm.
only got 20 minutes per game and was able to make some things happen. So with an expanded role. Maybe he falls to a team late who doesn't have a point guard and he has an expanded role. You never know where it could go for Desmond Wallace. And he's also 25, so just maybe like a little bit more room for development.
Mm-hmm.
You may and a little more room is decent for him. If he average 8 at a pro level right now, if he could get you, to that 10 points, 5 assist mark, that's not bad from a point guard at the highest level, if you
Right.
ask me.
Right.
So shout out to Desmond Wallace. That's a generic player. Then we got Dick Wellington. He's another generic big, a young big that showed flashes. 22 years old, and this dude definitely showed flashes. He showed
Mm-hmm.
the flashes that you want to see out of like a rim protecting glass cleaner, if
Mm-hmm.
you will.
Mm-hmm.
Um, definitely need to get his weight up a bit. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
he's a young tall guy, so you know that takes time. Played a year overseas, didn't look too overmatched and overpowered. So
No. Mm-hmm.
um, I think Dick Wellington do pretty good at the next level. What you think?
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, you know, uh, solid big for sure. One of the games that caught my eye was that third game. That's he's a starter, so you getting 32 minutes a game, and that game is against Russ Macy, right? And he had 11 points, 7 rebounds, 4 blocks, right on 66% field goal, right? And he hit the three that game. Like that, those are the types of things that like are the needle movers in terms of like winning games. I'm not sure if they won
Hmm.
that game or not, but those are the type of like stats that you need from a big that's going against one of the best players in the league. Like in that whole
Absolutely.
entire SBA, if you can give me that, give it your all. Like even giving me 9 boards a game, as like a third, fourth option in the starting lineup, that's cool. You're doing your job, you're doing your role. 2 blocks a game, you're giving me my rim protection. Like you holding your own, Obviously, get the weight
Absolutely.
up, right? Get the there's a lot of development to do, but those kinds of small things show me Dick Wellington. Yeah, he's pro ready, like
Pro ready for sure.
he could be a solid big for a nice team.
And I share that sentiment with you, my guy. Like I felt the same thing. I'm like, yo, this dude really showed those flashes, and in the right situation, you develop a young guy like that. Like you get him on a nice young team. Maybe if a GM is thinking young, you got a nice core to develop, or you get him around some veterans where they could show him what to do, and you can make a good championship run with
Hmm.
like a good playoff run with this guy at the helm. Right? Like tall guy, young, like I said, so a couple years he really can take over your franchise and be that guy. Um, if he can continue to show flashes of that three ball, only hit 4 of 15, but like you said, showed it in the best moments. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? He showed it against JT Carter and Russ Macy, which is guys who, you're not gonna have an easy night on the interior against.
Right.
So he showed you like, okay, I could step out too. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna give me this, then I'm gonna take that. And
Hmm.
and that's what I truly appreciate about Dick Wellington's game. So next we got Jess Stewart. I believe Jess Stewart was on this team as well. Yes, he was. It actually may be less guys on this list, guys, because I think I might have listed some guys twice. I might have. No, I don't think I did. I don't think I did. Okay. But yeah, Jess Stewart, I thought I named him twice, but no, I didn't. So Jess Stewart, this was his stats. He has a couple of did not plays, guys. Jess Stewart has a couple of did not plays. Those are due to lineup and things that were just going on within the organization.
Hmm.
When you got a lot of talent and guys got to take a back seat and you're trying to figure things out, things ain't always peaches and cream.
Right.
Jess Stewart season was a product of that. He's in a weird position. He's like a forward. He's a big. He shows flashes of being able to develop as a three, as a
Hmm.
big three, but he's also a natural size four. So super talented guy. As you can see in the first 3 games, he just showed flashes of a little bit of everything.
Hmm.
Um, and I think that was where they was trying to figure out what role he can play, and I don't think they quite found it. But now that's a project for a team at the next level. But Jess Stewart is a project player, guys,
Hmm.
who can wind up being very special with his skill set.
For
He can
sure.
wind up being very special because it's not a lot that he can't do.
Hmm.
You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? So he's only 24 years old. 24. So come on, just do it tough. So now we're gonna head over to FC Barcelona, where I know some of y'all favorite guys play. Shout out to Jerry.
Shout out
He
to
did
Jerry.
not declare, so we're gonna skip right over him. But Jabari Carter,
Ooh, ooh,
y'all
ooh.
know the undersized big slash forward Jabari Carter. This kid right here, you guys know what's up. Definitely a killer out there. Undersized guy, but imposes his will on some
Mhm.
of the biggest guys on the floor. As you can see by his stats, this guy is a 6'7" big man. He averages 15 points per game, 19 rebounds at 6'7", 2 blocks per game at 6'7", 3 assists, 1 steal, stat sheet stuffer, 10 for 17 from the 3-point line. So he picks his spots, but he picks them well. And from the field, he does as well, 52%. And this is just the type of guy that you want on your team. This guy dunks on people. This guy
Man,
imposes will in the paint. He can shoot, he can stretch the floor. Jabari Carter is an absolute problem. And in this postseason, in this combine, y'all gonna see that. So JL, take it away. Let me see what you feeling about Jabari Carter.
absolute monster. I mean, I remember the first time he stepped on the rec floor, we was like, "Yo, who is this dude?" Like, he looked like he was straight out of prison, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, like straight, fresh out, but he was hooping. We're like,
For
bro, there's no
sure.
way. And then obviously, we switched to the overseas series, and he continued that all the way through. I mean, you see some of these ridiculous games, like 28 and 20. You know what I'm saying? Like 17,
Absolutely.
23. And one of the things that I like to highlight is, I like the little things, is 84% from the free throw line. If you scroll over a little bit, 84% from the free throw line from a big man.
Oh yeah, I'm
He
gonna
only
scroll over
missed
so they can
6
see that.
free throws all year.
Oh, 32 for 38. Yeah, no, that's huge. Facts.
Those are the things that you look for in a big man. Like, forget the height, what I mean? He's shown that he can handle his own and dominate, right?
For sure.
If
For
he's
sure.
hitting those free throws at an efficient clip, especially banging down low like he does, those are the little things that put you over the edge. He's a
Most definitely.
he's a beast. Like, he's going to be definitely a first rounder. He's going to be one of those cornerstones. Like, there's not much he can do. And another thing that's underrated about him is his playmaking ability. Once those double teams start to, because you got to double team him, otherwise he's going for 40. So once those double teams come, his ability to read the floor, see where his shooters are, his open teammates, and just make the right play. So he's going to be a
Absolutely.
beast in the pros for sure.
Absolutely, completely agree. Shout out to JT Carter. He said he still ain't the best Carter. We gotta get some of these. We gotta get some of these player reactions up here. JT Carter saying he still ain't the best Carter of week. And then shout out to Olin in the building. This is a very good assessment. Olin said, I think Casey Robinson will come up and will compare, and we will compare him to Jabari Carter. That's a fair assessment. Casey Robinson is a high school guy, 6'9" big man, very strong as well, and they definitely have similar games. So that is a great pointer right there, Olin. Shout out to my guy O Block in
No
the
block.
building. Olin Santos with a good assessment on that one, man. And this is what I love about doing these podcasts and just getting back in the fold, man. We in the new spot. I'm comfy, guys, and trust me, I'm having fun getting back in the flow of SBA. We about to take it up another notch, season 2. I hope y'all ready. So let's keep this thing going, Jo. Next up, we got Floyd Bledsoe,
Oh,
Bloody B,
bloody B.
Bloody B, Bloody
Man.
Bledsoe. Oh man, Floyd Bledsoe, this dude was a killer. 22.4 points per game, 2.7 rebounds per game, 3 assists per game, half a steal, shot at 44% from the field, shot the three ball at a 43% clip, and then free throws, 78%. This guy, Bledsoe, is just a killer. Like, I think this is an off year for him, if I'm
Yep.
being real. This is
Yep.
a off year for Bledsoe. This was an off year for Bledsoe. I think with the new guys that came in, I don't think that they anticipated Jerry sprouting the way he did in his first season with Barcelona. I think even Daniels, the young big man, sprouting as well. I think that that was a shock to Jabari Carter and Bledsoe. I also think Jabari Carter and Bledsoe dialed it back a bit, knowing that they was headed to the SBA draft.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm being honest, because I
Mm-hmm.
didn't see that sense of urgency. I think coming off those chips, being the man overseas for so long before there's a pro, there's a pro league that's a grander stage than what they had, at the moment. I think that took some sense of urgency out of them, but I cannot wait to see what Bledsoe is going to do at the next level. Like we're gonna see bloody Bledsoe in his rare form
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to the SBA season. So
There's a lot you could say about Bloody B. I mean, like you said, off year for sure. Like off year for sure for him. But even in an off year, 22 points, like 43% from behind the arc, that's something different. As you can see, he started off a little slow. 10 points in his first game. We was like, does he really have it? But towards the end there, you see the 30 points, 27 points, 29, 22. Like he started to pick it up. He started getting his groove. He started to be like, okay, we figured out the system. Because Barcelona, I'm pretty sure was like they struggled a little bit early on. We was like, yo, this is the defending champs. Like they got to get it together if
facts,
they want to,
facts.
defend their championship. But they slowly started to get it together, build up some momentum, and you saw Bloody B actually become himself again. He started getting this element, getting this groove, and I think he's another one of those guys that like you want to score, like he's your guy. This is what he
Nah,
does,
absolutely,
and with his pedigree, his championship pedigree, his history, all of his accolades, he's a
absolutely,
he's a nice vet to have in that locker room.
absolutely.
And I see him winning plenty of championships in the
Me,
pros.
me too. Like I see, like with him, you just get that guy who knows how to win.
Hmm.
Above all else, he knows how to win. And pardon me, guys, need to hydrate real quick, but I think he just he gets it. You know what I'm saying? He knows what to do. He knows when to turn it on. And I think in an environment like this where it's something to prove now for him again, I think he just thrives in that. And we gonna see if Bloody Bledsoe could keep that up without Jabari Carter as well, and vice
Right,
versa, because
right.
that's gonna be another interesting feat between those guys. So, moving on, we got Rubens Pasoa. I know he's on the list. He's lower, but I know I put him on there. So um, we're gonna cover him. And this may be why no. This is not him. This is not the one. This is Ruben Person. This is not Pessoa. It's Predrag Talik. Pessoa is on Milano. Pardon me.
Hmm. Hmm.
Predrag Talik. Predrag
This guy,
Talik. This dude right here, another bucket.
killing it.
Another bucket out of Barcelona. And this guy was the number 3 guy for Barcelona. But I promise you, on any other team, he is numero uno.
Hmm.
But Drag Tonic is a pure bucket guy. 16 points per game, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 43% from the field, 35% from the 3-point line. But Drag Tonic could do it all. I'm telling you. He had 2 guys ahead of him that was taking a lot of the shine. But if you get Padraig Tolic on your team, you have a true leader and a bucket.
For sure, for sure. I mean, you see the streak. Like I don't even have to say it. You see the streak. Games 5 to 9. You know, just 18. 18, 18, 16, 16, 19. Like you get that out of your third guy. Like I know we say this a lot. Like you'll see the difference between like some of the lesser teams that struggled in the overseas and what their scoring distribution and like their statistical distribution is, and then you'll see the well-established teams and what they look like. This is another example of a well-established team. You have your third guy averaging 16 points on 43%. Like that is great. And like you said, he is the number one guy. Like on any other team, he's number one and he's going to
Definitely.
get you buckets. Like you see the flashes, he dropped 30. Your third
Exactly.
guy is dropping 30.
Your
He's going to be
third
a pro.
guy. Your third guy is dropping 30. Like you said, he's going to be a pro for sure. So the drag Talik, just super tough. And then we go next up. Going to a new team now. We going to Bayern Munchen. We got Timmy Turner. Even wishing for a burner. The kid everybody walking. But the young Timmy Turner, I believe this kid is like 22 too. He's either 22 or 23. Yeah, he's 23 years old. And this guy showed flashes. Young guy showed flashes. He was a user, had portions where he was active. So the potential would be okay. But even right now, still just a solid pro. Showed flashes as a shooter. I would say he that's what he is, more so a shooter, a scoring two guard, combo-ish, but not too much of a playmaker. So I wouldn't really see him playing too much of the one. Maybe if you try to develop him there, you can try to get something there, but I don't know, you know, um, how that will work out. But it definitely a solid pro. Showed flashes. You see those two games right there where he scored 26, which was a season high. Shot it efficient in both of those games. And then I see a couple of 17-point games as well where he shot it pretty well. Couple of poor performances, or I wouldn't even say poor, those 9-point games, but because he's still shooting what 4 for 9 in those games.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, 3 for 7 in those games. So yeah, it's just a case of he wasn't really on too good of a team too.
Hmm.
Um, Young guy finding his role in a professional setting, so
Right.
it wasn't easy. So
Right.
um, big shout out to Timmy Turner. What you think? What you thought about him though?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, show flashes, right? And I obviously we gonna get to NJ Abaya in a minute, but
Yeah,
both of them just went back and forth. Like one game it was Timmy, the next game it was Abaya. Like no
for
one,
sure.
neither one of them really established themselves as like, hey, I'm that guy, and you number two. It was like 1A, 1B. You know,
Hmm.
so definitely gonna be a solid role player. I see him as like a solid number two, number three guy for you. Like he definitely shoots the ball well, and when given his attempts, he's definitely going. He gets timely buckets. We'll say that he gets timely buckets. Like you don't really notice him, like a Fenton or like uh, a Severio. He gets his timely buckets in a matter that he wants, and I think he's going to be solid. There's a lot of room for improvement. Especially I want to see him become more a better playmaker for sure. But
No, most definitely.
he definitely got room for improvement. I'm excited to see where he lands.
Definitely a lot of room for improvement for the young bull Timmy Turner, and like you said, him and NJ Abaya, who you're about to get to right now, was just a nice 1-2 combo. They wasn't in a great situation to succeed being young players, if I'm being honest. But they did have the free range to learn, make mistakes and just figure out what their games were. And NJ Abaya followed up behind Timmy Turner with 18 points per game, 3 rebounds per game, 3 assists, uh, almost half a steal, 37% from the field, and then 32% from the 3-point line. So yeah, just similar to Timmy, was a little more consistent of a scorer than Timmy Turner was. And I would say that's just from him being more of a volume shooter. Like
Hmm.
Timmy is like looking for better shots. NJ Abaya, because we know he's a slasher at heart, a bit of a stronger guy, bigger built guy. He's trying to impose his will even when those shots aren't falling. And that was just the difference. But he showed flashes too. 36 point per game was the high for him.
Hmm.
20 point nights, you know what I'm saying? And I think he's a nice wing who can play anywhere from, 2 to 3, you know what I'm saying? And give you some pretty decent production. I want to see a little more defense out of NJ Abaya.
Yes.
Like I want to see him maybe try to become two-way, because like some of what he gives you on the offense you think would translate on the defensive end. We just haven't seen it yet. And
Hmm.
I think there's potential for that. So that's my spill.
Right, for sure, for sure. I mean, like you said, volume shooter for sure. I think, yeah, FC Bayern wasn't in the best situation this season. Um, and I think one of the main things was I'm pretty sure NJ Abaya was playing that like combo guard role. I don't see him more as like a point guard. You know what I mean? I feel like he's the definition of a shooting guard, like a wing, right? He's supposed to be on that wing. I think it was a maybe a misuse on Bayern's part, but one thing that I look at is the 100 threes attempted. Like that tells
Mhm.
me he's gonna get his shots up, right, and he's gonna hit it at a pretty decent clip. And I think if you get him better shots, maybe off some screens like we do for Christian Ross, or like, you know, just better looks, right? Like maybe some more motion, things like that. He could be pretty dangerous. 18 at what is he like? Same age as Timmy Turner.
Yeah, I think he's 22. Let me see. Let me see. Yeah, he's 22.
Yeah,
Timmy's
eight.
older than him. Timmy's 23. He's 22.
Yeah, so 18 at 22 years old. You know what I'm saying is that's definitely going on like a draft board. That's like a okay,
Definitely.
all right,
Yeah, that's definitely okay, especially overseas. Like what?
right,
But
right.
and then here goes Tyrone Atkins. This guy, Tyrone Atkins, is a problem. He's 24 years old, averaged 22 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, 50% from the field, 50% from the field, 45% from the 3-point line. This guy is that 50? Is he a 50-40-90 guy?
Is he?
No, he's a 56% free throw shooter. Ew.
Ooh, ew.
Ew. But bro, like pure bucket, all around guy, all around game. Outside of those free throws, Tyrone Atkins is what you want. Like 24
Right.
years old doing this. You know what I'm saying? Like Russ Macy is a different level at what 20,
Hmm.
15 boards, 25 and 15 boards, whatever crazy number it was. But to have 22 and 11, you know what I mean? Like he was on like the
That's something.
worst team and he was the best player, still playing efficiently. They were losing, but he like, yo, I'm getting mines. I'm showing these teams that I do this. Like
Yeah, he does.
we
He does.
losing, but you know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna get mine.
No, for sure, for sure. I like that he was aggressive, like he at times, like, the team was starting to, lose in terms of like they were getting runs put on them. And even then he was like, "Nah, all right, I'm going to get you out of this slump. Like we going to go. Like this is our time to go, right?" He showed he's like that, right? I think him and Russ basically have similar games. It's just Russ Macy is that much better, like that experience, and that, like, I feel like Russ Macy is what Tyrone Atkins could become, if that makes sense. And they definitely have similar games. You can see it in the stats. 22 and 11 is not easy to do, especially at that power forward position. It's definitely not easy to do. So I think he's gonna be a solid pro, right? I think he could maybe not a number one. We'd have to see it.
Mhm.
Like we said for Evans, translate to winning basketball. Um, but keep him on your radar, because he could become something for sure.
Definitely keep him on your radar, guys. I'm telling y'all right now, this guy right here is going to be a problem. Like you heard it here first. You heard it here first. On that pro level, this guy, Tyrone Atkins, is going to be a big issue. Um, you get him like cause young guy, like I said, you put him with vets, you put him with veterans, and that's the young guy you developing. That's crazy. Then you put him with a group of young guys, and you just got like a nice core of young
Mhm.
killers. So it's a win-win. It's a win-win. No matter what situation you win, having this guy is a win-win. So then we got Lothar Kramer here, a big uh he played center for Bayern. Um, not much of a scorer, but definitely what you want out of a rebounding glass cleaner. Older guy as well. Lothar Kramer is 25-year-old. Just a solid veteran here. That I just think was deserving of that spot. There's other bigs that could compete. Scoring is not the only thing. Scoring is not the only, is not the only aspect of basketball. So having these true glass cleaners, these Steven Adams esque, what I mean, role players, these Kali Stein, you know, mold of bigs, these Nolens Noels, they're important to have,
Mhm.
especially when you want to build and have scorers in different places. You don't want to have, your scoring taken away from that big spot, depending on how you building your team. Maybe you a pace and space, you know what I'm saying, type of team, and you like to run. You don't want to have these type of guys. So, um, it's situational, but a guy like him is like super pivotal to have when you're up against a top big. You know what I'm saying? Like if you up against a top big and you got, you're a pace and space team, you want to have a guy like him off the bench who can, match up with a Russ Macy and just fill that space. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
because you have an undersized big and not have somebody like Luther Kramer be able to come fill in that spot for certain matchups, you're toast. You're toast. You know what I'm saying? Like definitely like that Tristan Thompson
Yep.
type of guy. So he's definitely gonna be a solid professional. You could give your spill on Lothar Kramer if you remember some things about him.
I mean, like you said, right? Not too much of a score. He did hit the three ball a little bit that now that I'm noticing, which is solid. You know what I mean? Like
Solid,
solid.
not for sure.
Um,
7 to 21, 32%. Not bad.
it's not bad at all. I think, like you said, he's going to be that like role filler. Like if you need, like he's solid to come and fill in for your star center. Like this is a solid replacement or like a solid, guy to just come and give you some energy, give you 9 boards, you know what I mean? Give you 10, 11 boards. And like, because those are the difference makers, right? Like we always say in basketball, you win the rebound battle, you're most likely going to win the game. And
For
we
sure.
saw that for so many games in the SBA. You win that rebound battle and the free throws, you win the game. So he's one of those guys that's going to help you win those battles, those key things that put you over the
For
edge,
sure.
like I've been saying.
For
So
sure.
he's definitely going to be solid.
So here's another sneaky guy. It's not going to be anything here that's too appealing. Guys, I'm just being honest. Nothing going to be too appealing about this to you guys, but he played 13 minutes because they wanted to develop a young NJ Abaya. But this guy right here, Frankie Marshall, is nice. Like, I
Hmm.
know what his attributes and stuff look like. I've seen him play without NJ Abaya and Timmy Turner, where he has the keys, so to speak, and he has the green light, and this guy is a bucket. He's an older guy as well. He is. Let me see, Frankie Marshall. Frankie Marshall. Let me see. Let me see. I know he's here. He's 26. He's a 26-year-old wing slash forward. Um, and I just know what he is, guys. Like I mean, I'm not even trying to say it like that. I've even if I just don't want. I know you can't go back and like watch what a guy that had this, lack of production did. He only averaged 13 minutes, but if you did, you would see what I'm saying. Like,
Right.
soon as you watch him play, when you see the tendencies and the way like his player moves, you'll know what I'm saying as to where the potential lies. And if he was in that spot, he would do what he's supposed to do. So, but I don't blame them. They had Timmy Turner and Jay Abaya. Why wouldn't you develop your young guys? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you waste that on an older player? Like, it literally makes no sense.
Hmm.
So, now we're gonna head over to CB Canarius. Of course, we went over Ariel Savario already. So,
P.
we're gonna skip over that. I guess we can look at some big performances from him. But look at these crazy numbers: 35, 7, 9, and 8.
8 steals is insane.
35.7 rebounds, 9 assists, and 8 steals. Like he had some games where he was just in passing lanes and just ripping guys. Like it was just not looking fair.
Mm-mm.
Like it was just times it just didn't look fair. And compare, it's a him thing because nobody else is averaging steals like this in the league.
Nope.
Like
Nope.
nobody's doing what we've seen him do. Like we know that this is just the way his player is built through
Hmm.
tendencies and just attributes because like he doesn't even have I'm gonna let y'all know he doesn't have a 90 still, guys. He doesn't have a 90 still. Um, you know what I'm saying? Just I don't know, like just how the cards is played sometimes and just he made a good build. Like this
Right.
guy, you know what I'm saying? Handles and play. He went with playmaking first. I think he went with playmaking, slashing, and then defense. No, he went with playmaking, defense, and then slashing. So
Mm.
he just made a solid build, man. And sometimes you get like based on how guys are coming in with age and stuff, we were scaling attributes certain ways, and sometimes you just get you. It's a little bit of luck, but he actually was active. He was on Patreon. He built this player because the base was a little shaky,
Hmm.
but he actually watched his player in a rec, watch the college series because it was a long time between college series and overseas. So a lot of these overseas guys got to grind as to what they are, and we'll implement that system. Like you'll see how that system is going to work out for you guys. We'll have some runs throughout the year, like rec runs. The guys that's here know how the rec goes and how blacktop went, but we'll have even more of that coming. So that way you can have your guys develop and earn SC you know, as we go. Like you'll be able to actually develop and earn SC on the go, even when your season is not in season, so to speak.
Right.
So guys know how we do it, but we're definitely enhancing that system. So there's gonna be more than rec, guys. Remember me telling you that. There's gonna be more than rec. And high school is not here, but it is. You'll see what I mean by that. High school is there, but it is. Why would I say that? Why would you say that? As we take applications throughout the year, we're going to be implementing those players into runs as well. So as we take applications now, guys, it's no longer you wait to see a player play. We're going to take an application. You'll be made within no longer than like what a week or two, JL,
Hmm.
and you'll see a player in a run. It may be a rec run. It may be a high school game. It may be like a random high school game. It may be just highlights from a random high school game. It may be just highlights from a Drew League or like a tournament rec run. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we're kind of like taking high school out so we can have focus on academy overseas and pros, but still gonna implement, and enhance our runs so that way
Right.
guys that's joining the league are getting a lot of content, especially if they're active. If you're active, you're gonna get a lot of run throughout the year. So we got a lot of fun stuff coming. I can't wait to speak on that more. We gotta save that for maybe a podcast, Jo.
For sure. For sure. For
'Cause
sure.
this is Draft Express. Let's keep it Draft Express. We've been giving them a lot of content where these stuff going off topic, making this video super long, but this is still worth it. And we could clip this
For
video, I'm
sure.
thinking too, into segments and start dropping those as well, where we just specifically talk about a certain player. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like
Yeah.
how ESPN and shit do.
Hmm.
So under my language, I'm not sure if YouTube allows the cursing. My bad. But next up, we're going to CB. Oh, we in CB Canarius. OJ Alberger, Juice. Shout out to my guy Juice, man.
Juice.
First Jamaican player in the SBA, first Jamaica born player in the SBA, Air Jamaica in the building. He averaged 13 points per game, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. 34% from the field and 35% from the 3 point line. Just one of those guys that you want on your team. I would say his comparison is like a J.R. Smith. When he's hot, and he can get hot in a hurry. He's a spark plug. You can have him come off the bench, or he can be a solid spot up shooter, and he has time to develop. The
Mhm.
the juice man is not that old, and he's an active user. OJ Alberg is 23 years old. 23 years old. So still so much time to develop. And I think this kid has like a pretty good ceiling as far as like being a pure shooter, pure scorer in this league. Like I think he can score and shoot with the best of them at his ceiling.
Hmm. Hmm.
What
For
you
sure.
think,
For sure.
Joe?
Uh, like you said, that J.R. Smith, that volume shooter, right? He gets his shots up. May not be the most efficient at times, right? But what I mentioned about Timmy Turner, those timely buckets. When you need a three, most likely CBC was going to OJ. He kept him
Hmm.
in games, right? Even he might be
Definitely.
cold, but hey, get him the ball. That shot's going up,
He
and
hit that big shot.
you got a good chance. They keep you in the
Nah,
game.
for
So
sure, for sure.
I mean, I look at it as like he started off the season pretty hot in terms of scoring, right? It looked
Hmm.
cooled off a little bit towards the ends. That's when Silverio started to take over, and the guy that we're gonna get next to, Jaden Blue, started to come alive. But yeah, solid guy, right? Two way. He was guarding some of the best offensive guys for the opposite team. Obviously, Silverio. And you had Silverio and Juice on the same team guarding both of your top two guys. Like that's
And
scary.
that's super
That's
scary.
scary. You
That's
know.
super scary.
So he's gonna
If
be a
you know,
solid.
you know.
Yeah, if you know, you know. If you
If
look
you
at
know,
if
you
you watch,
know.
you know
If
what they're
you
talking
watch those games, you know exactly what we saying because like Jill just said, bro, if you literally have those two guys guarding, like Juice can play defense too as well. Like that's why like we're talking about him scoring and how he can work on that because we know that that's a big part of like what he can do, and we see the potential he has as a scorer. But this guy is also two way, so he can lock you up regardless if it's shot hitting or not. You're in a box.
about. Yep.
So like you gotta pay attention, man. Like this young dude, 23, Juice Man, in Jamaica. I'm telling you,
Hey,
Jamaica might got one on their hands, man. They might
for
got one.
sure. For sure.
They might got one. Jaden Blue next up. Shout out to Jaden
Oh man,
Blue.
I love this kid.
Jaden Blue, the youngin. The youngin. How old is this guy? 21
One,
years old.
this kid is special, man. This kid is special.
Special. Special. You playing alongside the MVP and you average 3.5 rebounds, 4.7 assists, half a steal, 41% from the field, 39% from the 3-point line. Jaden Blue. That kid is going to be a problem.
Wow.
Yo, Jaden Blue, you got to go watch some highlights. This kid hits clutch shots. He gets hot and he keeps it going. He shoots pretty efficient too to be so young.
Hmm. Hmm.
He shoots pretty efficient to be so young and to have that pressure playing with the best
MVP.
player in the league and you show up like this, I know that Ariel Severio is ecstatic at his young bull. I know he is hype about the production of his young, protege. And and bust this. He's two-way as well.
Oh, yep. Yep.
He's two-way. So like you have this clash of two ways and that's where Ariel Severio comes in the clutch because, like I said, having a leader like that, igniting guys like Juice and Jaden Blue was the driving factor. Like
Mhm.
I don't think he's the shoot. Severio can't shoot better than Jaden Blue nor OJ, but his will to win, his want for it, it's just contagious. You know what I'm saying? And like I can't wait to see, man, what these dudes do at the next level. Like I'm getting excited, man. That's why we gotta hurry up and get through this, man, so we can hurry up and make it happen, man. Tom Ellis
Sure,
Jr.,
for sure.
another pro. He averaged 17 minutes. He was 4 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. Just another pro guy. Seeing what he did, he's on the championship team. Think about that. As you can see, the minutes were up and down. That's because they have a lot of good role players that are good pros. That if they are on starters on teams, they have more consistent stats. But
Mm.
because they was on this team, they were playing the role they needed to get to the chip, and they're in the chip right now. So I'm not gonna spend too much time on him. If you could give me a spill on Tom Ellis too, Jo, if you want. But he's just like a forward. He's a forward. He could play anywhere from 3 to 4. And play good defense.
Hmm.
He's a generic. He can score in flashes, timely baskets once again. And he plays good defense, rebounds. Just checks the boxes as a role player.
Right, right, right. Not necessarily a stat sheet star, but it's what he does, off the stat sheet is his main role, right? And I mean, we talk about, defense. This team is in the championship because of how well they play defense together, right? Together is the main thing, right?
Yeah.
Um, they're just a defensive minded team, and you have a leader like Ariel Severio getting these guys like, hey, you want it as bad as I do, you gonna play like you want it.
Mm-hmm.
And Tom Ellis is one of those guys. Minutes up and down, like you said, but in his time, he was on the court. He was he made an impact for sure. Like maybe not in the stat sheet, but he made an impact on the floor.
Nah, yeah, nah, I completely get it. Completely get it. Then seriously, that's definitely what Tom Ellis was, just super professional. Gonna do the dirty work for you. Don't mind being a role player, and that's gonna go a long way. Olin, this is the rough top 100 list. So all those guys that we're naming and highlighting here are the guys that are going pro. These are the guys who are gonna be in the combine. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying? It's only a rough list because some guys, like the bottom tail guys, there may be a few guys that's dropped off this list for certain things that may be going, back overseas. But for the most part, these guys are the 93, the 26 from college in the last episode, and this is 67.
Hmm.
So these are the guys that are, you know, gonna be going to that top 100 combine. So that's why we trying to get through them so we can get this show on the road as soon as high school tournament and overseas is over. I think we should be ready to rock and roll for high school tournament this weekend, right, Jill?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
For sure. For sure.
Cool. So so yeah, Jaden Blue's gonna be excited to see play. So is Tom Ellis, Devin Chambers. A lot of these guys on this championship team right here. And Devin Chambers is another guy. This is who Tom Ellis was like flipping out with a lot. 7.6 rebounds. Another guy that could have did more with a bigger role, but he just professional guy, gets the work done, does the dirty works, and show flashes just like Tom Ellis did.
Right.
Devin Chambers, man. How you felt about him?
Devin Chambers. Yeah, this was a name that we called a lot, like a lot, especially when I heard when you was calling games for CBC. Like I feel like every chance you got, he was always somewhere where a play was being made. I mean, towards the end, great rebounder, right? You see the 17 and 16 game. I'm pretty sure he won play of the game that game, if I'm not mistaken. But um, you know, he showed his flashes, right? I feel like if he has a bigger role, he can be that guy for you to just be a solid forward for you, a solid big man, not necessarily a big man, but a solid forward, right? On a pretty good team, and given that extended role, like he could be like a a solid 15 and 8 kind of guy, if given the right system. So I like Devin Chambers. Keep him on your radars for sure.
Nah, definitely got to keep him on the radar for sure. I think another guy we got on here is Tyrone Webster. Yeah, Tyrone Webster, the big man for this team right here. And Tyrone Webster, pretty good big. Another one of them bigs that you got to watch out for. 8 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 2.6 blocks. That's almost 3 blocks a game, and he gets it done against pretty decent competition.
Hmm.
Gets
Hmm.
it done.
He does. He does. I mean, the like we talk about, JT Carter and Jabari Carter and hell, even Russ Macy. This guy was the best rim protector in the league. That's just to tell you something, right? You had the best perimeter defender and the best rim protector on the same team. Like we said, this team plays defense together, which is why they're in the championship. Like 3 blocks a game. We thought Severio's 3 steals a game was insane. Three
Mhm.
blocks a game.
It's
He
a
had a game.
defensive team.
Yes, very defensive. 6 blocks in a game.
Crazy defensive unit, bro.
It's like, man, oh man, and he was giving you good PT. I mean, there's a couple of games where he had 40 plus minutes, and he was still efficient, right? He was still, getting you your rebounds, those dirty work. He does the dirty work
Mhm.
for this team, and he's a very solid big, and he's going to be a problem for SBA pro bigs. Like I want to see this guy versus DJ House, Chucky Glover. Like I want to see that kind of matchup because this guy can definitely hold his own. I think he's going to shock some people.
Nah, definitely. I think so too. We share the same sentiment. I think like he's definitely going to shock some people. Let me see how old he is. Well, I don't think he's that old. I think he's a little bit older. He's 24. No, no, no,
24,
no, 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 no. Huh? You see the age? Let me see. Oh, he's 26. Yeah, he's 26.
26. So a vet.
Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
so a
Okay.
nice vet, but he still got some good years though. Like still got some good years. So I believe Alexander Payne might have been a late list guy too, later in the list. So just to cover him real quick, don't no need. He's another guy. He was splitting those minutes with Devin Chambers and Tom Ellis between that. Um, as you can see, they all three was power forward, small forward. So they all splitting those forward duties. You know what I mean? That revolving door at the three. And if you got to think, if you give any of them that starting spot, you get a little more consistency from either of them, but I just think the blend was working. They're in the championship. So obviously it was. All of these guys are defense first guys. You know what I mean? Versatile defenders. And that's what got this team to the chip. Canarius was able to put so many, versatile defenders on the floor. They could switch everything. You know what I mean? If you got Alexander Payton, um, Devin Chambers, and Tom Ellis Jr. on the court at the same time, you can switch
Everything.
anything. So it's like that was that was huge for them, and that's why they're in the championship. And I can't wait to see how that lines up against my SBA Select, man. So make sure y'all tune in for that. Also, make sure y'all tune in for the high school tournament as well. It's just about to be a movie. This weekend is about to be action packed. We still got some live full highlight. I mean, we still got some full highlight videos dropping from the college series. After each series, we're gonna get those full highlights done as well, so that way you guys could catch up in a quicker manner. If you wasn't able to remember everything, you could go back and watch things way quicker. Figure out your favorite teams, watch your favorite games in shorter form to see what happens, top games, top matchups. We're gonna keep those highlights there. But moving on, Shady McGrady. That boy is declared. That boy is headed to the draft. And
Mhm.
Shady McGrady, man, big time flashes from this guy. Big time potential. Big time potential, if you ask me. As you can see, played his first 4 games with Real Madrid, and you see average high 20s over there, 230 point performances, 120, 117, 127. That's huge. Um, after switching teams, I feel like it was an adjustment for him. He went cold, but he still showed flashes. Like even when he switched teams and went cold, it wasn't terrible. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like you could tell he was just trying to find himself late in the season, and things just wasn't clicking. But you know that this guy got superstar potential. He's an active user, so he's only 22 years old. 22 years old, solid frame, 6'9", 220. Room to grow. He's definitely gonna fill in that 6'9" frame for
Mhm.
sure. Like, cause he's even though he's 220, he's a built 220. So definitely gonna fill out that 6'9" frame. And I think sky's the limit for a build like this, man. I don't know. Cause he can go interior, concentrate the interior, and just go crazy, or he can stretch the floor and balance his game and make himself a little more balanced because he already has the defense. So,
Mhm.
Shady McGrady could take his game a couple places with tendencies and what he decides to focus on attribute wise at the pro level. So I'm very interested to see, what Shady McGrady does at the next level. Uh, Shout out to Olin. That's definitely a dope matchup. Olin with the insight, man. Tyrese versus Duke 1-on-1. The future versus the legend.
Yes, sir.
That'd be dope. That'd be dope. That'd be dope. So let's keep it moving though. Yeah, Hopeful Tel Aviv. We still got some teams to go. Woo. We still got half a league to go, but Jamal Giddy next up. Jamal Giddy, 17 points per game, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. 42% from the field, 34% from the 3-point line. And Giddy is just another one of them guys. He's a two-way guy. I think this kid could do it all. I love this kid's game. I'm gonna just say that. I'm gonna just start with that. I love his game.
Mhm.
Love his game. Awkward game. It's awkward. That's what I love about the SBA. Everybody has their own style because Giddy's game is super awkward, but it's so effective, bro. It's like one of the most awkward but effective games I've ever seen in my life. So, um, and you'll see what I mean if you watch some games. He
Yep.
dribbles kind of funny. He shoots like kind of like weird, but bro, he's a
He
bucket.
gets
Like
the job
he's a
done.
bucket. He's crafty with the moves. So it's just funny to see it all come together. But he's good, and he's not that active, so that hurt him. It was points where he was active though.
Mhm.
So who knows? Maybe he comes back in the pros. I think that might stifle his potential. But at a 17, 6, and 7 rate, if you give me that for the rest of your career, if you give me 15, 5, and 5 for the rest of your career, I feel like you're a solid pro. You know what I mean? Everybody can't be the man. We can't
Right.
want everybody to be that guy. You know what I mean? Because it's just
Right.
impossible. But
Right.
I think 15, 5, and 5 is a great floor for Giddy.
Oh, for
I don't see him being anything less than that. Like honestly, maybe it may take some time to get to the rebounds with at this level.
mhm.
Maybe it may take some time to I don't know. Playmaking isn't his DNA. He might be more of a playmaker before a scorer early on. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
because playmaking is his first thing, yeah. So I don't know. Giddy's going to be good. I love his build. I love what he put together. I love like his production. So
for sure.
I
For
think
sure.
Giddy's going to be a basket. And then Wendell Fields. Mama, mama.
There's a
There
reason we
goes
highlighted him.
that man. Wendell Fields is the reason why we highlighted. We spoke on him, but I want you to see some of those performances in the game log as to why we highlighted his declaration. When he said, I'm out, Hopeful Tel Aviv was throwing him the house. They say, yo, we gonna match the money of whatever SBA team. When he said I'm out, it was a headline because
It was a headline.
look at those numbers, bro. This dude is like 5'10", might be 6 foot, 25 years old, but a pure bucket.
Bucket.
Bucket. If you watch Wendell Fields, y'all know he's a bucket. And this is why Therese Shady McGrady was having, some issues adjusting because Wendell Fields was already in that mode. Like, yo, listen, this my team, bro. Like, fine, George, you a young boy. You might want to come back next year. I don't know, but I'm out of here. Look at what he was doing since Tyrese got there 33, 32, 31, 44, 22. What could Ty? There was no more buckets for Tyrese.
No
Like, you
more
know what I'm
bucket.
saying? Like he was taking 30 shots a game too. He was taking
30
30 shots
shots.
a game. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
not that it was a bad 30 because he was going crazy, but trying to adjust to play with that is like tough. But Wendell Fields, man, he's gonna get on the team and he's gonna wreak havoc.
Yep, for
I
sure.
can't wait to see who gets that championship pedigree in this league because I want to just automatically say it's going to be, Bledsoe and them again, but you never know. It may just sneakily be a veteran like Wendell Fields who get with another veteran and they just
Tear,
work. You
tear
know
it
what
up.
I'm saying? Like the chemistry just works. The cohesion is just
Mhm.
there. So as we get later in, jail, I'm thinking, do you want to just like highlight the key players and then just show the list, later or something, or like show the list at the podcast, like after we put it in order, just like show the key players from now on till the end of the podcast?
Yeah, we
Or
still got a half a league to go, so I think key players like it would be cool. Give our spiel on it.
yeah.
And,
What y'all think? Y'all key players, right? Y'all don't really need all these role fillings yet, right? Like we could, because this is still a rough list. This is still a rough list.
facts,
Shout out
facts.
to my guy Nas. Shout out to my guy Nas in the building. Nas, you got to tune in. We taking this thing up. We on a whole different level, man. We going up for season 2. So shout out to Nas for popping back out. But Carl Keith was another pretty good big, but he was a role guy. He's another like one of those bigs that we were talking about. But with the shooting, I think he has a little bit more shooting potential than a lot of other those
Yes.
glass cleaning bigs.
Hmm.
So I think he has a lot of potential to like really expand his game. He's 26 years old, so I feel like that window is closing, but you can get him in hyper focus on that, that role as a stretch. And I think with the right chemistry and the right, team, he could definitely. I think with the right chemistry and team, Carl Keith is
Yep.
a solid pro.
He could produce. He could definitely produce.
Yeah, I think he could produce. So, how you feel about him? How you feel? You
Yeah,
want to give
Car
me a
Keith.
quick
I
spiel?
mean, we call him Chief Keef in that. So for those that just give you a little recap, this is the team that took out the best team in the league. If you don't remember, Olympia Milano lost to this team in a sweep.
Right.
Again, Carl Keefe was the one that was dominating Milano's base. I mean,
Yeah.
the dude, like you see his production early on in the season. It wasn't really but he started to, show flashes. He started to get his own. And in that in that playoffs, man, he came alive. You know, he was definitely a strong reason why Hopeful Tel Aviv was able to do what they do. And I think Carl Keefe will be a solid big for pro roster. Keep an eye out
Yep,
on him. Chief
for
Keef, man.
sure. Chief Keef, and that's the reason why I highlighted him, even though, like I said, he was going to keep players because there's certain generics guys that y'all gotta understand is still key players. Like I
Yes,
ain't trying to
yes.
go Smitty RFL on y'all with it, but it is some generic guys that like I feel like I still got to be like, yo, like go watch him and see because like I know y'all look. Sometimes you look at the general, but if you really look at the details of things, there's some gems out there. Like it's some gems. Cole Caldwell is another one that we're gonna go over right now. Cole Caldwell is like a Serge Ibaka type of guy who's like a stretch big. And look at these numbers. Like he's showing flashes of 14 and 16, 14 and 12. You know what I'm saying? 16 and 9, 18 and 6, playing that, 4 or 5 position, that stretch big. So you want that. And how old is Cole Caldwell? Cole Caldwell's only 25. So like you want that out of your generic, and you know what I mean? Like 52% from the 3-point line. He shot 24 for 46 from the 3-point line, bro, as a big Cole
That's a
Caldwell.
big. That's a big. That's very
As
good.
a big, bro. And then shot 56% from the field. So that's like a generic that you want. That's a sneaky generic that's gonna get on a team with some other good players and play his role and go, go far in a playoff run. So
For sure.
like these are like these is key players, but I'm definitely gonna still look through and like try to weed out some of the guys that it's like no point.
Mhm.
Next up for the next team, we got Monaco, and here goes Blue Moon. Blue Moon is out
Blue.
of there. Blue Moon is on his way to the SBA Combine. 15 points, 5 rebounds, 6.3 assists. Uh, 49% from the field, 30% from the 3-point line. So definitely want them to develop that three ball a bit more. Only 15 to 50 from the 3-point line. But this kid could do so much of everything at such a young age, at 22 years old, that it's like the potential for this guy is nasty. Remind me of kind of like Luka Doncic, I want to say. He gives me Luka vibes. He
Oh,
gives
for
me
sure.
Luka vibes. So yeah, that's my spill on Blue Moon. Definitely give me Luka vibes. He could be an active guy at times. This is Miles McCain. So I know like during the season, I feel like when the season come around, he's definitely active. I don't know how much SC he's earned, but I feel like in a consistent setting, he's like I feel like he can get it done in a consistent setting. So he has a lot of potential. Still has a bit of bust potential, but still has some boom potential if he can be active.
Right.
So shout out to Blue Moon though. Blue Moon is definitely gonna be tough. TJ King Jr. Ooh, this dude right here
Ooh.
was like a bucket. This dude was like Giannis. This dude was like Grayson of the college of the overseas series, basically. So like he took that same approach to what Grayson gave. Showed us some stretch abilities at times, but only 5 of 24 from the 3-point line. So still got some developing to do there, but he's another young guy to average 19 and 13, 19, 13, 4 assists and a block. That's monstrous at the age of 22 years old, bro.
I mean, yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean,
Come
there
on.
was times where like he just looked unstoppable, right? And
Exactly.
we gonna get to him soon, but this big pairing of T.J. King and Claudio Sanchez was
Oh
a
my God. That
problem.
was a joy to watch.
It was a
Yo.
problem. Like no one could stop. And I know Roca had, not the greatest season. They definitely could have done a lot better than they did, right? But man, oh man, was TJ King, Claudio Sanchez a sight to watch. I mean, you see it,
Yo.
right? 13 rebounds, 19 points, 22 years old. It's just the only way is up. The only way
The
is up
only
for
way
TJ
is
King.
up. The only way is up. And next up, the brother of TJ Brown of Mater Day,
Mhm.
Demarcus Brown, pardon me, of uh AS Monaco. And this kid showed flashes. I feel
Mhm.
like late in the season, he just went flat. Like late in the season, he completely fell off. I think mid-season, that grown competition, the overseas, adjusting to overseas at like he's still a fairly young guy, 22 years old. I just think he was 21. So I just think kind of got in a bit over his head because he started off looking really good first 4 games and then just completely went downhill from there. Uh, just cold. So he showed you he's a streaky guy. Went from looking like a 15 point per game player in the first 4 games to only averaging 10. So he showed you he's hot when he's hot and he's not when he's not.
Mhm.
And I think that's what you're going to get out of Demarcus Brown. His younger brother TJ Brown is looking like he's the one
The real
out of
deal.
modern day. He's looking like the real deal, stretch big, Bam out of bio esque. But Jamarcus Brown showed flashes and then fell off. Man, maybe he could get it back on track. I'm not sure if the user who's responsible for both of them is going to invest in Demarcus, but we'll see. But he's definitely going to the league because he showed flashes. He's a
Right.
shooter. I
Yeah.
think he has, he can develop into a shooter. He's only 22 years old. Can develop into a spot up guy. Maybe he could give you a little bit more. See, finishing is his third thing, but we'll see. You know what I'm saying? We'll see how active he is as Demarcus and if he wants to develop there or will he just go into TJ Brown? So Martel Poole is another tough guy. This was another guy like I said that skills gap of overseas in college was a thing. He's another user guy. As you can see here, the user guys usually have their skills and generic guys don't. Shout out to Olin for that. It's the little details, man. That's why Olin is the GOAT. But so Martel Poole, young guard, I think he would have like killed on the college scene. I
Oh,
think he ran into a
sure.
few bumpy roads overseas, but
Hmm.
I think he would have destroyed the college league just looking at these game logs and looking at how he was just able to pretty much do what he wanted.
Right.
Not the biggest guy, 6'4", 210. I guess that's good size though. And he really played a tremendous season. If I'm being
Yeah.
real, that's a great season for a how old is Martel Poole? Martel Poole is 22 years old, so very young team. Honestly,
Yes. Very young.
very young team. So a lot of potential for those guys.
Right, right. I love Martel Poole, man. Him and Jaden Blue are like some of my favorite point guards to come out of this overseas. You know what I mean? Like very young, developmental, right? Like you see down the stretch, he started to get into his own. He started to find his role. You know, scoring more consistently and more efficiently.
Hmm.
He is definitely one of those guys to look after. He could be a solid point guard for a team. In the later rounds, like when you get your big man or you got your wings, you need a solid point guard to run that position. Martel Poole
Hmm.
is your guy. So
Martel Poole is definitely your guy. Martel Poole is definitely your guy. So who we got next up? Well, we got Claudio next. So Claudio Sanchez
this kid.
next up. Claudio Sanchez, a problem. Like that big pairing was crazy. Aiden McCout is another guy that I moved up just because he was a younger guy that showed a lot of flashes. As you can see quickly in just like that game log, he definitely showed flashes. Don't want to give him too much props, but he's another guy that we moved in there because he was just a young guy that I knew had the will to do it. He just was behind Claudio
Yes.
and TJ King. But Claudio, just a beast. We talked about him and TJ King. You see what Claudio did here. Claudio is actually 25, so a bit older. Was that vet over there to help TJ King, and they played off each other extremely well. Like I think this is the best big pairing that we've seen in the SBA period, all
Yes.
series. The way
Yes.
that they played together, like inside out, as like two-man ball, as center and power forward. I never saw that in 2K, and they
Nope.
did that tremendously well.
Yes. Yes. Very well. Very well. Like I said, it was just unfair at times, man. Like we had a whole. I'm pretty sure it was a YouTube short that was just them two just dominating. Like it was just them two. That's how good they were. You see the game logs. Like mind you, you saw what TJ King was doing. He didn't have a single game under 11 rebounds. You pair that with this. You see these game logs, right? You compare that with this. It's like they're winning the rebound battles. And then you had Blue Moon averaging like 6 or 7 rebounds. Like this team, they were young, but they were bulls. Like they fought. They fought hard. 65% from the field, 50% from three. I know he didn't shoot it a lot, but when he shot it was at an efficient clip. And then if you scroll over just a little bit, 92% from the free throw line. 92% from a big man.
Let me see. Let me see. Let me go over there so I could give them a look at that. I felt like my guy Dale bit on the show, man, because he into them deep. Oh, 92. You're right. 22 or 24. So that's a big deal for Claudio.
That's a
That's
big
huge.
deal. That's huge. You know, those
That's
little
huge.
things, right? He was very good. He's going to be a solid big on the pro level.
Yep. Another guy I might gotta pay attention to and take note, Douglas Webb, but I might just want to leave Douglas Webb. Like it's so hard when picking all these guys. Like we got about 7 spots left.
Hmm.
And I gotta double back to college to see who else we gonna pull up out of those 7 guys. But it's tough, guys. It's tough picking out who we got coming up. But now we at Olympia Milano. I know y'all been waiting for these guys.
Oh, these
No, y'all been
boys.
waiting for these boys. Kennard rode in, the main man from the motherland. 23 points per game, 6.9 boards, four assists, 46% from the field, 32% from the 3-point line. This dude is tough, bro. Built for this. Like
Mhm.
that's no other way to put it, but built for this. Like night in, night out, he's gonna give you a problem, and he can do so much that you don't know where he's gonna give you a problem from. Is he gonna lock you up? Is he just gonna be a
Yep.
pain on the boards? Is he gonna play make? He had one game with 13 assists. 8 assists. You feel me? 5 assists a couple times. Like, you know what I mean? And then he has games where he just takes over scoring. Like, so Kennard Roden just like honestly, I think with guys like him, first rounders, they're older guys, 26 years old. But you can't replace what he can do. You're not getting what he can do out of like a lot of these younger guys. Like, you're not getting how many players have you seen average 23 in this overseas league? You know what I mean? Like, how many guys? Only the very top. You
Mhm.
may pick a younger guy in this draft over him because of longevity, but even with that, is like, like you taking a big risk because he
Big risk.
until those guys are ready, he's where he needs to be. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You're competing day one with him. You're a championship contender day one with him. He was on an undefeated team. Unfortunately, took a bad loss in a one and done tournament. The way that the playoffs is overseas. No, it wasn't even one and done.
No, no. Yeah.
They lost in a 2-game series. So of course it was unfortunate, but at a pro level, you want a guy like Kennard Roden for sure.
And for sure. I mean, like, he was built for it. Like you said, he's just built for this game. You know, in the rec runs, like, even in the rec overseas, he's just that guy. You want a guy like him to be on your team. You'd rather him be on your team than
Absolutely.
face him. That's how that
Absolutely.
works. For sure.
Absolutely. At all times, whether you're in the wreck, yo, like you said, it don't matter where you at. You see Roden dudes, be like, oh man, I'm at the 4 with Roden. No, and you could be at the 4 or the 3 with him, and you like,
It's a
oh,
long night,
it's a
man.
long night, and you don't know how he gonna source you. You back up on that break, he'll pull a 3. And we've seen
Yep.
him, that's like his trademark, that middle 3 on the break, like, oh, you about to let me? Okay. And then he like when you press him too, because he'll push you out the way and one
Volleyball
or dunk.
is,
Like,
man,
bro.
built for this
Bro,
game.
built for this game, like you said. Next up, we got my guy Patrick Vince, the
PV.
Croatian sensation, Air Croatia. My
Shoot it
guy,
from Croatia.
the most shoot it from Croatia for sure. The most active guy in this league. This dude
Yes,
lives in Croatia, and this dude is the most active player in the SBA. Period. He's more active than me and Jo, and it's my league.
for real. For
Well,
real.
it's our league, but I'm saying I'm the founder. I'm doing all behind the scenes, me and Jo, but he's more active than us. And I'm not kidding. He's more active than us.
He is. He
Like
is.
I'm not joking. Like know that he greets the chat every day,
Every day.
every single day. What's up, guys? What's up, fellas? How y'all feeling? Like,
Mhm.
bro, big shout out to my guy PV, man. You in the Hall of Fame. You're the first person in the Hall of Fame, PV. I want to let you know that
For
right now.
sure.
No, all player performance aside, you the first person in the Hall of Fame. Period, though. Like,
Guarantee you. It's about like
ain't
what,
no SBA without PV.
5, 6 a.m. over there. He's still here, man.
He's
He's
up, bro.
always here.
And not only is he just an active guy, but this guy is a talent on the court. Like you said, could shoot it from Croatia, only 22 years old. So he was 21 during the season. And this guy, look, 17 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 36% from the field, 36% from the 3-point line. He is a value shooter, so you're gonna get those type of percentages. But this kid, when he's hot, OMG.
Oh,
Yeah,
and
yeah, I know. How many games? Look, he has one, two, three, four, 5 games with more than 5 3-pointers. And then 8 out of 11 games with 4 plus 3-pointers. 8 out of 11 games, this guy got 4 more threes.
like,
8 out of 11 games, he has 4 or more threes, bro. That's insane.
it's
Like this kid PV is I'm telling you, it's the little things like the advanced stats,
yep.
for some guys that you gotta be like paying attention to because it's freakish. It's freakish. Like PV is a talent to watch.
He's a
Trust me.
talent to watch for sure. And this is the guy that, hey, we went to Croatia for that All Star game because of this man. Like
Because of him.
he is definitely representative of our league, man. And it's a sight to watch. Like he's such a fun player to watch too. And one thing,
Facts.
one thing that we gotta mention is this guy straps up
Oh
on the
yes.
defensive end of the ball.
Yes, he
He'll shoot it
does.
from Croatia. He'll tell you to go get the rebound, and then he'll wait. He'll wait for you at half court. That's the type of guy that PB is,
Wait for
and
you at half court, pick you up at half.
pick you up at half.
Yeah.
He's here, you know.
He's
He's
there.
man. Pick this
Nah,
guy up.
yeah.
Pro teams pick this guy up because
And he's
he's
super
going to
active. The
be a guy.
ceiling is through the roof. Like he probably has the most potential in the league because I told y'all. First of all, you got to think temporary bonuses. He's always gonna get that, like
Mhm.
guaranteed. I just know it. Then VSC, he's there. He has it. Like bro, PV is going to be. I'm telling y'all, unless something inevitable happens, PV is going to definitely develop into one of the best shooters we probably ever seen in the SBA. And it's gonna take time. He's only 22 years old, so it's gonna take time. But at 6'6", 210, I could see him being like a Paul George in the future.
Mhm. Mhm. For sure. For sure.
Definitely see him being like a Paul George. And moving on, we got DJ Watts Jr. This Milano team was star-studded, star-flooded, and 14 points. This you got to know that 14 points is low for him, but it's because of all the talent he was around. You got 6 other guys that's like starters,
Yep.
like starters and can score.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And you got not only 6 guys that can score, you got 6 guys scoring it at the highest level in the sport. Like
Yep.
you got Tyon, you got freaking Roden, you got PV. You know what I mean? Like how many opportunities are you gonna really get as DJ Watts on that type of team? However, DJ Watts still turned that into champagne because he does
Mhm.
so many other things. Check out the boards. Check out what he still did with having those guys on his team. Uh, and then even in the blocks department, it's like
Right.
super consistent there as well.
Mhm. Mhm. For sure. For
So
sure. I mean, at times, like I remember you was in the booth. Like at times, we was like, "Yo, give DJ Watts the ball," because he's that good. Like we were pleading with the coaches, bro. Run plays for this man because he's that good offensively. I don't think we got to see a lot of his offensive game um in terms throughout the season because obviously you have, like you said, you have PV, you have Tyon who we gonna get to, we have Roden. But this guy, don't sleep. Those 14 points are low. That should be around 21, 22. Like I'm telling you, he's going to be a problem if he's the number one offensive player on a team. He's going to give you about 25 and still give you about 11, 12 boards and still give you 2 blocks. Like that's how good this guy really is. And
really is no for
he's going to
sure.
be special.
But surely definitely gonna be special, man. And last but certainly not least for this squad, you got Tyon Nickerson. You got a few other role players who's on this list, but we are just sticking to the key players, like y'all said. So and we getting into the 2 hour mark. I really appreciate you guys for rocking with us so late. And
Yes.
if we could rock out late like this, if we got an older crowd and this is not like a bother, then we could do more late night stuff on days that me and Jo is like free like this. If you don't mind, Jo, like I could do
Yeah,
this.
of course, of course.
Like this is not a problem for me. This is good content. And we could clip some of these parts and just have segments for the players. So like if
Right.
guys can't follow the whole thing the same way we doing with the games, we can just cut some of these segments and they can always go find it. Maybe we should make another channel for that so that way it's not conflating with these videos. What you think?
A
So it's
clips
just like
channel? Yeah, I like
straight
that.
SBA news, straight
I
like
like that.
SBA news
Hmm.
clips. Maybe
I
we should
like that.
call it SBA clips or something.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. That's an idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I just think like I don't want to oversaturate too much with like podcast stuff, and then it's like
Right.
interfering with the with people viewing the games. I don't
Hmm.
know, but yeah. So we could probably get like a clips channel. That'd be dope. Like a SBA clips channel. That'd be dope.
Definitely.
Yeah. So that's dope. Yeah. Moving on, we got Tyon Nickerson, man, and this kid Psycho T is a problem. Got the nickname for a reason. And honestly, one of the best point guards just in the SBA, period.
Right.
Like, we're going to call it a spade a spade. I know he talks a lot and guys don't want to hear his mouth and you can't let his head get too swole, but he's one of the best players in this league. Like, let's just be honest. To be at the helm of an undefeated team when the decision is in your hands, and we've seen that decision work in his favor, and we've seen that
Hmm.
decision not work. We've seen him miss game winners. We've seen him make game winners. We've seen him be the reason they lose. We've seen him be the reason they win, and they only lost once. So you think about that when you're picking Tyon. You know what I mean? Like, it's like we just gotta give him his props, bro. We just gotta give him
I
his
mean,
props.
there's a lot to say about Tyon, and it's almost all good. Like just
Yeah,
watching him play the game is something like you said, one of the best point guards, like all around that we got. I mean, you see it. Yeah, like Tyler said, 50, 40, 90. That's the type of guy you get in time, right? You see the flashes. I mean, at times, you're like, yo, my point guard, like, he's supposed to play make. He gives you that, right? Second game, 24, 8, and 12 assists, right? Game four, 23, 4, and 11. Like those are the type of games that we see out of Tyon on a consistent basis, and he's efficient. He gets to his spots
efficient.
and he hits his shots. That's that's a bar, low key. That's a bar.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
gets to his shots or picks his shots, get to his spots. He's a great point guard. He's going to be he might be a cornerstone if he's active enough. He might be a cornerstone to a pro team. Like this is the point guard that you build around. You know,
Facts.
um,
Definitely a point guard you could build around. 50, 40, 90. First year overseas. How old is Tyon? Let me see. He's 22 years old. Like, that's ridiculous, bro. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. DJ Watts 24, PV 22, Roden 26, Tyon 22. That's tough, bro. That is tough.
mhm,
That is
mhm.
super tough. And now we going to Real Madrid. Speaking of
Oh,
Olin's team. Olin, I'm gonna be honest with you. We got a combine spot for you. I know you and Suave is Madrid to the bone. Yeah, I want more time to develop. But we do have an overseas combine spot for you. I'm gonna just leave that up to you though. But we do have a spot for you.
we
We
have a
have a
spot.
combine spot for Suave as well.
Hmm.
But I'm gonna leave that up to y'all. Y'all will see a lot of changes on y'all team though, because a lot of y'all, top players are entering the draft. So that's the only reason why I'm giving y'all the option, because a lot of y'all top players are going to the draft, Olin. So um, you still do have a chance of drafting, some talent in the in from high school and college. The guys that declared from high school and college, I think you'll have a top pick because y'all was like bottom of the league, right? They was like bottom half, right, JL?
Yes, they were.
Yeah. Y'all was bottom half, Olin. So y'all do have the best like draft odds for the overseas. The overseas draft odds are based on record. So strictly based on record. So if you was the last team, you got the first pick for the overseas draft. I think for the first year it's going to be 2 rounds. I think for the first year it was going to be 3 rounds just to fill up overseas teams.
Spots, yeah.
But I think from then on it's just going to be 2 rounds. Just like the first draft is going to be 14 rounds for SBA, and then following that is just going to be 2 rounds each year. So I think we're gonna do the same thing for overseas, and y'all will get, three new players, three young players. But you let me know if you want to stay with Real or you want to go. It's up to you. And offers was gonna be too much. I was gonna leave offers and stuff, but just having to wait on people and not be able to like jump in when me and Jo need to jump in to make moves was just gonna be a problem. Like it held us up a lot. Not saying that held us up. I'm not blaming it on that, but it would hold us up. Like because I would have to make that process and then wait for everybody to be available
Right.
to see it through. And that's just not how we're trying to, like, we want to give you as much decisions as possible, but we not trying to just be waiting on, inactive guys and trying to give every user time. I'm just being real. Like the guys who hear and get it and understand and could keep up, they'll make their decisions. The other guys would just kind of get, like they'll get pushed through as as they see fit.
Right. Right.
So Bayern was actually the worst, so they would get the first pick. But JT Carter was Olin's not there, so we don't got to go for his. But JT Carter is going to the draft. No surprise here. One of the best bigs in the league behind DJ House, Russ Macy, and guys like that. If I'm just being real, this kid is just too big. Like it's nothing you could do with him. 7'2", 7'2", 290. Bro, how old is this kid? 22 years old. Come on, bro. He's a freak of nature, bro. He's a freak of nature. So now the problem with it at this level is the athleticism. Not being able to run that floor as fast at this level is gonna hurt you a little more. I
Hmm.
mean, he did I overseas with it, but I don't know. I don't know. I just think at a pro level, faster pace with the top cream of the crop. I don't
Right.
know.
Right. I mean, I agree. Like some of these college centers are definitely a lot. A lot
Oh
summer.
look, PV and Zanu is going. Pardon me,
Oh,
Jail.
you
But
good? You good?
PV and Zanu is going. Definitely. Ola, yeah, PV and Zanu is gone. They going to the drive. Oh wait, I don't know if PV staying, but I think PV said he was going. That's why we had covered his player. I think he going. I'll get the finals from like the active guys, but I believe PV was going. That's why we had threw him on this list. But anyway, go ahead, Joe. Pardon me.
Nah, you good. You good. Yeah, like you said, freaking nature. I mean, this kid is a freaking nature. There's not much else to say. He's just too big for these boys. But like you said, I think I agree on a higher level. Some of these college centers that are coming out, even some of these overseas centers that are more stretch bigs, like they're gonna give him some trouble on that defensive end at least, because they're just gonna be able to run up and down that court, right? Especially if some of these teams run in pace and space. I don't think JT Carter is gonna be able to keep up with it. That's the only flaw in his game is
Exactly.
his stamina, right? But I mean, his strengths outweigh his weaknesses for sure. I mean, he's giving you. You see that first
Yeah.
game, 42 points
Mm-hmm.
on nothing but interior dunks, post ups. Like that is crazy. He is going to be something special for sure. Rebounding monster, interior defensive monster. We seen him killing in Iraq, obviously killing it overseas. He was, and we talked about Shady McGrady earlier, playing for Real earlier. He was on Hopel Tel Aviv at first, and they was all right, But since he got traded to Real Madrid, it really pushed him over the top to make that
Nah,
playoff
definitely. Nah,
potential playoff
definitely.
run. And they just missed it out by I think a game. But he was the reason for that, and I think
Absolutely.
he is top five guaranteed. Like I don't think any pro team is passing up this kid just because of what he gives you.
Nah, yeah, definitely. I think he's top five guaranteed too. Way too much. Way too much. Like way too much. Like he got way too much potential. He's too big. Just too good for you to even play around. Like if he's out of top five, I would be super surprised. You know what I'm saying? Like if he gets anywhere outside the top five, especially with him being so young, and he's like shows signs of hyperactivity. Like he shows signs of being like very active. So if he stays and be active during the pro season and could build with the active guys around him, that's going to be dangerous in whatever organization he lands. So I mean, whatever organization lands him. So,
Mhm.
um, yeah, nobody really put here. We can move on to number two. But there was some role players though that I pulled up from there. That you guys will see on the list from that team. But we're gonna keep going through the top players. So Mike Simmons.
Oh boy.
I don't even gotta explain this. And this is what I'm
Oh,
saying. We talk about top five with so many guys, but when you really look at this list, like when we rank this list, Jo, this top 100 from 1 to 100, it's
it's
gonna be tough. Like when you mix it, because even in the draft, like I can't wait to see what these AI GMs pick, bro. Because like we're gonna let the AI GMs do it, but I can't wait to see what they pick because, bro, Mike is crazy, and that's instant production.
hey.
That's 24 points per game, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, high, like highly efficient scoring now. And he's hold up, and I think Mike is fairly young.
Hmm.
How old was Mike? How old is Mike? 24.
Listen, listen. It's kind of ridiculous how good this guy is. Like, you just got to see it. It's one of those things that can't be explained. Like, you see it as soon as we pulled up Magic. I mean, there's a reason we call him Magic Mike. Like, as soon as he pulled up, we was like, yo, there's just too much to say, but nothing to say at all. Like, if you've seen him play, you know exactly what we mean. This kid
Yes,
is special. And we, like you said, we talk about top five guaranteed. We might have to move some people out because Magic Mike might be that dude. Like, he might be that top five guarantee. He might be the best guard. Like, we talk about Fenton and Severio being two ways and things like that. Michael Simmons may not show as much of the defense as Severio and Fenton, but his offensive game is second to none. That mid range,
or none.
special 3-pointer, he can hit it, playmaking out of this world. The thing is, I know he's not the only user on this team, but he was the only active user on this team, and he took them very, very far in the playoffs
Yes,
throughout
he
the whole
did.
season. Magic Mike is someone to look out for. I cannot wait for him to become a pro, and GM's got to keep this guy on the top of their draft boards because if you pass up on him, he might make you look stupid. He might make you look stupid. Magic Mike is something special, man. Man, we
Nah,
talk about
Magic.
Tyon being, a top point guard. This guy might be the point guard.
Nah, absolutely. This guy might be he might be. I think honestly, the top point guard battle is between Tyon and Mike.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who else will arrive. No, I'm bugging. We wildin', but we ain't gonna cover him yet. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say,
Hey, I think I know what you talking about. Yeah. We gonna get
yeah,
to him.
yeah, we gonna get to him. The White Wilkins, though, another guy, man, just really good user. Reminds me of Blake Griffin. This dude was the yeah, just basically that pick and roll man for Mike. He was that guy that Mike could get his CP3 on with whenever he wanted to get his playmaking game on, and I just think they worked off each other well. They also had Wallace Washington Jr., who was another good guard, that shooting guard. He was
Yes.
nice. He was nasty. So I think a lot of the scoring for Dwight went quiet at times, especially later in the season when they was trying to keep the wins up. I feel like a lot of that went away for Dwight Wilkins only because Wallace Washington and Mike started to take matters into their own hands.
Hmm.
So, but Dwight Wilkins definitely showed flashes, as you can see, 20 point nights, double double. He definitely could develop. Dwight Wilkins is 24 years old as well, so him and Mike coming in around that same class, and And those dudes are good. And it's hard for Mike Wilkins, another guy. How you expect him to get so much buckets around so much scoring? I just peeked. He got Danny Ramsey, Wallace Washington, and Mike. Those are all about like 20-point scorers, if I'm not mistaken. And he still averaged 11 and 7. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Mm-hmm.
like imagine Dwight Wilkins by himself. Like look at Wallace Washington, average 18. That's 20. You know what I mean? Like he's taking 20 shots a game. So is Mike. You know what I mean? So it's like when Dwight Wilkins can still get double digits. I love when I see, players like him just able to still, produce at a high level,
Right.
scoring wise with stars like that on their team, with true scorers on their team. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, big shout out to Dwight Wilkins, man.
For sure. For sure.
Big shout out to Dwight Wilkins. So, Wallace Washington as well. Wallace Washington was that second guard for Mike. He was just like super tough, bro. Like this guy was super tough. Like you just got to go back and watch those games because the man in which he
Yeah.
get the buckets is just tough. Like he's not a finesse player at all. Like he's gonna go to the hole. He's gonna like mumble and jumble. He's not the biggest guy. He's not like a big guy, but just crafty and fearless at the rim is the
Right.
best explanation for Wallace Washington. But he can shoot it too. So that fearless as a rim is just a super compliment because this kid can shoot the ball. So
For sure. For sure. Just
definitely
gotta
pay
get.
attention to that.
Just gonna get his for sure.
Definitely gonna get his. And then Danny Ramsey, the guy I was telling you about, small forward, young guy. This is a guy. This is one of my favorite players, if I'm being honest, because he's just a
Mm-hmm.
young guy that I can't wait to see. Take it to the next level. Like this guy is, he's gonna be him. I feel like
Yeah.
15, 7, 2 assists. He can play anywhere from 2 to 4.
Mm-hmm.
Um, showed just so many flashes and like I'm the type of person I really watch sim like I watch this like the NBA. I watch guys to see really what they are, what they have potential to do. This dude had a game with 19, 17, and 6. Like as a he's a like I say, he can play anywhere from shooting guard to power forward because I believe he's like 6'8", but he can play the wing. He's comfortable playing the wing. He can play make. Like I want to say imagine Ben Simmons can shoot. I know that sounds scary, 22 to 70, 22 for 73 from the 3-point line. So not the craziest, Jo. You just went mute. No, you probably did it on purpose, but 23, for 73 from the 3-point line. So still gotta develop there. Still a lot to be, you know, still got some developing to do, but this kid is one of my favorite players, and I can't wait to see what he develop as, even though he's a generic. Um, Dante Anderson, just another one of those bigs, guys that's just like, you know, glass cleaning, rim protector. Nothing too special, not a stretch by any means. He only 1 for 3 from the 3-point line. Don't really shoot it too often. Maybe he could develop that. Maybe he could implement that in his game, but it just depends on what the coach is gonna allow him to do. Baladas was another big for Virtus that was pretty good, and I think has a shot at doing some things at the next level. You'll see that. Yeah, you'll see that soon. So, um, don't got to cover too much more of them. Want to make sure I get into these guys right here, my main guys, man. And shout out to y'all for rocking with me. I know this has been a long podcast. I know it's a lot of information. Um, but shout out to you guys for shout out to you guys for rocking with me, and it gives it replay value to me when we put a lot of information in these things, and then like we spoke about earlier, we could clip them up and just make different segments. I
Mm-hmm.
could clip some of this audio and put you guys as highlights behind things. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the things that I think about when we actually take time and make content like this. So
For sure.
um
For sure.
yeah, it's a lot of things we could do with this, Joe. We could clip some of this audio, make highlights and stuff. So I ain't tripping on it being too long, and we got a lot of good engagement. But
Mm-hmm.
so shout out to y'all for rocking with us. But Ash Erickson, as we get to the second to last team, 2 hours, but we did it, Jo.
Yes,
Ash
sir.
Erickson, another guy that showed flashes, hyper active in the league. Don't know what the activity is going to be like now. That's a question mark. However, when he's here, this guy is here 100%. He gets the work done. He's all about this. So if he's active, I feel like the ceiling is very very high. With him not being active, I think at best he's a really good role player. You know what I mean? Really good rebounding rim protector at best with no activity. With activity, I see the offensive game taking leaps each season. And I feel like
Mhm.
around the 5 year mark, we see an Apex Ash that's like, if not MVP candidate, definitely all star, perennial all star. You know what I'm saying?
Right, for sure,
The
for sure.
Norway Nightmare is a problem. I'm just interested to see the activity. He's 24 years old, so still young, a lot of time to develop, and that's really what I want to see out of Ash. Like if he's active and he's here, I know his player is through the roof. With him not being here, I don't know if he has the same upside as some of the younger guys who some more offensive base. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right, for sure, for
So
sure. I mean, he's definitely a special talent. Like, definitely a special talent. It was fun watching him on the SBA Select. And the thing about him is he was always in the right spots. That's the thing.
definitely,
Is even though he wasn't getting the ball, we gonna get to why he wasn't getting the ball in a minute. But
yeah,
even though he wasn't getting the ball, he was always in the right spots. He was always in the right space. And I know you you the overseer of this team, but the coach, he, uh, or I should say, yeah, the coach played this guy because of how well he fit with all units. I'm talking third stringers sometimes, even in the garbage
absolutely,
minutes, he fit
absolutely,
so well with everyone.
absolutely,
He was so good. I can't wait to see him in the pros. Like he's going to be someone that we keep an eye on, and we're like, hey, like you said, potential MVP candidate, potential
yeah.
All Star,
All
potential
star, yeah.
champion. Like this
Potential
guy
champion,
is
guaranteed.
going
He
to be
got all of
something.
that written all over him.
Hmm.
Definitely got all that written all over him. If he can, come back, be active. I got this. Ash is a leader. Like
Hmm.
he can damn near be a cornerstone for your team if he's active. You know what I
Sure.
mean? Like he can be the guy for your team if he's active because he's gonna do what it takes to develop into whatever your needs.
Right.
You know what I
Def-
mean? So that's like you
Definitely.
said, just the right spot and just a guy that you know is gonna be locked in for the
Hmm.
cause. You never could fight a guy that's for the cause. And Duke Spliff, Duke, the Auntie Slayer.
Roll another one.
Roll another one. 21 points per game, 7.5 rebounds, 4 assists per game, one steal, half a block, 54% from the field, 36% from the 3 point line. And man, the, the street ball legend took it overseas to see if he could do what he do in the streets in organized basketball. And I gotta say he answered the call.
Hmm.
Hashtag. Let me get hashtag roll another one in the chat if you with me. And the other one is roll. You feel me? So like it's a little. This is the last of the last. Why I look so skinny. Don't cut my ass with that shit, bro. But that's the last of the last. I seen the other one before. You feel me? But yeah, I be transparent, man. We legal. I'm grown. You know what I mean? Kids definitely don't do drugs. Like, why would you do drugs? Like, like why would you do
Do it.
anything that will harm you or
Right.
that isn't, you know, good for your body? You know what I mean? Don't be like me. But I'm grown. I can make decisions for myself. You know what I mean? And I don't think that have anything to do with my creativity or my what I bring to this league. So I'm always
Right.
gonna be 100% transparent in who I am with y'all. I'm gonna smoke on the stream. I'm gonna talk the way I talk. You know what I mean? I like to switch it up, be versatile at times, but
Mhm.
for the most part, we family here. You feel me?
It's the Mulaverse.
This the Mulaverse, but drug free is definitely the way to be. So don't be like me. Um, but roll another one, man. That boy Duke Spliff, he's another friend of the flower, and he is he's
He's
a
a killer.
bucket, man.
He's
I
a
think
killer.
he's another guy like first round. I think because teams are just like I want to win now.
Seasoned
I
vet,
want to
man.
win now. I want a chance to win now. So I want
Yes.
Duke. He's the oldest player 27 years old. He was 26 during that season. So
Hmm.
oldest player in the league, but super tough. Don't sleep on him.
Do
Don't
not sleep.
sleep.
Do not
Don't
sleep.
sleep on them. And then we got my guy Eddie B, the
Another legend.
franchise, another legend, the rec legend though. So you got the street ball legend and the rec legend on the same team. That's why we in the chip. But that's why we had to. That's why we had to have a draft because I felt honestly it wouldn't be fair with just like the activity rates and stuff like that for me to just be getting all the active guys on SBA Select because I'm the commissioner. So some guys are gonna just want to come on my team because they know I'm active, they know I'm gonna be on point. Some guys gonna think maybe they get favoritism if they on my team, which is not the case. But I was like, you know what? Let's go draft. Let's go to draft way. So we just kill that bird. You know what I mean? So that
Mhm.
way guys don't feel no way. And just because I like to be super fair, it's fun to me. Like I don't want to be like it's no fun in winning if you cheating. You know what I mean? It's no fun. This shit is just pointless. You know what I'm saying? So it's like not my style. You know what I mean? I
Right,
would
right.
never like the the league the league being what it's supposed to be is bigger than that to me. Like I won't even have a team if it ever becomes a problem. Like one person
Right,
complain and I'll be like, all right, cool. We just named them a different team now and I don't got no ties. You know what I'm saying?
right.
AI coach. I just put my onus on certain things so that way we can move smoothly. And like what overseas, it was competition. It was a lot of user players. So I know guys wanted to compete against me. I didn't want to make a player. I'm like, let me compete with, coaching. And
For
it
sure.
wasn't as many of you guys here as it was when now.
We
Like, let's
started.
just say
Yeah.
that. Like in the beginning, there was a few of us. We cool. It's like, okay, I'm gonna coach my guys, you know what I'm saying, and go against the rest of my guys. But now it's a league. Now it's
Mhm.
hundreds of people involved. So if there's any, issues where y'all feel like y'all want things changed, I'll step down. I don't have no problem. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? And I won't. We could make all random teams. You know what I'm saying?
For
As you
sure.
see, we shifting college to a fictional team thing because
Mhm.
I don't want no copyright problems with our league. We not doing NBA because I don't want copyrights. I don't want no issues in the future. If YouTube change their policies with, I don't want none of that. Our joint could be our own world. I'm cool with that.
Mhm.
If guys want to capitalize off of NCAA jerseys in college, and they could do that. I'm cool. I'm taking myself out the race. I just want to do it our way. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? High school, I was thinking about that with high school too. That's why I kind of went a different way. Overseas, I'm thinking the same thing eventually. Like maybe just moving to fictional. But now I'm thinking just keeping it because it is what it is, and because it's overseas, I don't think that like the restrictions should be as bad. Like these are teams for so many different leagues. It's not NBA that, and like, we're not profiting off of these overseas teams. We're not selling no merch in a team names or nothing. So it's like I don't see it being as much of a problem as academy and our pros could be because we could sell our college team merchandise. We could sell our pro teams merchandise. The in between development stage, I'm cool with.
Right.
Leave
Right.
it like that.
Right.
So
Right. And I just want to give a quick shout out to Eddie B. Olin said he just recently became a dad, so shout out to Eddie B. Man, another
shout
member
out to
of the
Eddie
Our
B.
League. He's the face of
Yeah,
our
he's a
league, man.
super our league. Facts, facts. He's the
Mhm.
franchise. Like that's our guy.
That's our guy.
Um, that's my guy. Like I gotta say, like I've been in different environments with Eddie. I just think we cut from the same cloth. He is who he is, bro, and he's
Mhm.
unapologetic. Like he's not about to twist and turn too much for nobody, and that's one thing I respect. He's like, yo, look, bro, I'm who I am, and I'm for this. Like he's definitely for simulation, whether it's football, basketball, no matter. He shows up, he supports in a major way. He supported us on to help us, get a kickstart. Got a dope player, was active. So tip my hat to guys like Eddie. And that's why I implement things for like that's why I want to implement things for activity at periods because you got guys becoming dads, you got guys living life and you got guys that really support, but life happens. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to ever penalize PV because he can't be here. Yeah, like
Right.
like that's crazy to me, or Eddie because he can't be here for a year. Like that don't make no sense to me. So I would never delete you. I just would let you pick up your story from where it left off. So certain decisions may have been made for you while you wasn't there, but never nothing extreme. Like I'll never make nothing crazy. Like I'll have a good enough story for you for when even if you came back, when you go look at what your player been through, you will be excited to see. Like you'll still see graphics if you did big moments or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the league we trying to run here. Whoever's the guys here are the guys here. Once you finish that full application and submit your tendencies and you did everything and you play the game, you're here. Once you in our ecosystem, you're here. So that was just a little like spill for y'all, so y'all don't ever get too caught up in the activity thing. Um, but Eddie B, man, that guy, if you ask me, my guy, best point guard in the league. I'm saying
Mhm.
it. I don't care. Best point guard in the league.
Hey man, you got a case for it. Like this guy is, he is what you want out of a point guard. Like this is exactly what you want. You want scoring? He's got you with the 28, 25, 21, 20. 23. You want playmaking? He's got you. 9, 7, 6, 8, right? You want defense? He's got you. You know what I'm saying? Like he's
Mm-hmm.
got you everywhere that you need it. You want 3-point scoring? He's got you. You want
Facts.
highlight reels? He's
He's
got you.
got you.
You
Facts.
want a leader? He's got you. He's just got you everywhere that you need it. Whatever you need him to
Everywhere.
do, he's gonna do it, and he's going to do it well. That's the one thing I respect about Eddie B. He's going to do it, and he's gonna do it well. And he is going to be what Bledsoe is overseas. He's going to be a legend in the pros. I know it for sure. He's got that. He's got that look.
Yeah, swagger. Yeah.
He's got the game. You know what I'm saying? He's got everything needed to succeed. And I think we're gonna be crowning Eddie Bowles a couple of chips in a couple of years. Let's
He,
just say that.
25, so definitely got a lot of room to grow. Like right in the midst of, I feel like what could be like a prom for him, an early prom, because they say you ain't really hit your prom till you like what 30 or something. But yeah, man, Eddie B got a shot. JJ following Eddie B on this list. JJ, another dope user. I seen him in the chat earlier too. So
Hmm.
shout out to my guy JJ 14 4 and 4. And
Dynamite.
I think Dynamite is what he is. Show a lot of flashes, but how much could you show when you got Duke Spliff and Eddie B averaging a dub? You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
and he still got his, still did
He
what he
got
needed to do.
his.
I just think the efficiency wasn't there because he may be a little bit more comfortable with the ball in his hands.
Hmm.
That's what I think it is. I think yeah, I think that's what it was. Just finding his role within those, like with those players, like within that
Right.
offense. And it was tough for me too, like looking at this team, tough to get these guys to gel. Like, I mean, we did a good job. I think we only lost like 2 games, 3 games
Hmm.
maybe, and we in a chip, but it was tough. Like, we have like one of the most talented teams in the league, and that is a challenge for a staff and a coach when you have a team this star-studded. Lance Madison was another guy who's out of here, 8 and 11, showed a lot of flashes offensively,
Solid
but
big.
took a back seat because of a lot of guys. Like, we even had guys off the bench that was like super solid. So
Hmm.
don't want to get too much into that. But what's your spill on JJ? Let me actually bring his stats back so you could talk about his stats part of me, Jo.
JJ, man, another kid to look out for, like for sure. Where's he from? The Philippines? I think he's from the
Yeah, from
Philippines,
the
right?
Philippines. Yeah, he's from the
Yeah,
Philippines.
from the Philippines. Like, and he is dynamite. I mean, like, there's a reason. There's a reason for each person's nickname that we give out here in the
Fact,
SBA. He is electric. Like, you
fact.
see it, bro. He's on the same team with Duke Spliff, Eddie Bowles. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's getting 21, 20 a game, like in certain games. You know what I'm saying? Like he's getting his. And when you need a big shot, he's that big shot taker and he's the big shot maker for sure.
Absolutely.
Like the one thing I want to see him improve on is his aggressiveness towards the rim. I feel like he's a very good finisher, and we just didn't get to see that a lot. Maybe because of the system that you was running over there and things like that. But
Mhm.
um, trust me, he can put you on a t-shirt. Let's just say that he can definitely put you on a t-shirt. I've seen him do that in the rec a couple times. So and especially learning from Eddie B, that's kind of scary in the pros. I'm not gonna lie to you. We might be having JJ on some reels or some YouTube shorts soon.
Nah,
But
absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, big shout out to my guy JJ, man. JJ was definitely a problem, and I would agree. Like some of our system did hinder him. Like I'm being real with you. Like and these are things that I communicate with my guys in the locker room. Like yo, we going with certain game plans to get this win. We going with certain people to get this win. Like so, like guys knew that they were gonna take certain hits, certain games with just game planning, and I just appreciate guys for taking it for what it was and not and seeing a bigger picture because ultimately we in a chip and we trying to close the show. Like we trying to close the show and
Hmm.
bring that ring back for the SBA Select. Yeah, it's gonna be tough because we going against CB Canaries. They very tough. They got some top user guys too, but I think we had the number one recruiting class. If I'm just being real, the first season
Yes, for sure, for
outside of
sure.
Milano, maybe because Milano
Yeah,
is the only team that outplayed us during the season. But you know what happened to them in the playoffs, so we couldn't even really see that big heavyweight matchup that we thought we would see in the chip.
right.
But that's usually how it goes, right? Like you think you gonna get these two teams that's been the heavyweight, and then it'd be that shocker team, that Cinderella
Hmm.
story, and that's CBC this year.
Right,
So
right.
and it was beautiful to see it happen. Like I encourage everybody to just see how that unfolded, man. CBC was so gritty, such a grit and grindy team, and literally that characteristic crossed over to being their best factor and best quality as a team in the
Hmm.
playoffs. Like that defense just clamped up everybody when it mattered the most, and now they're where they at. And as you can see, this is how builds work. They had those switch builds, right? Think about it. This was a generic team put together. They had those switch builds with those three power forward slash threes, and then they got their three starting guards are two way, and
Hmm.
they make it to the chip off of defense. They didn't have too pretty of a record during the regular season, but they grinded it out in the playoffs when series even became a thing.
Yep,
I'm
yep.
telling y'all, man. I don't know if defense. They say with defense win games.
Defense wins championships.
Oh,
Off,
defense wins
yeah.
championships, offense wins games. So I don't
Offense
know. We
wins
got the
games.
we got the clash here. I couldn't say it because
Mhm.
I got the offensive team, but for the sake of the saying, it is what it is, and it's gonna be fun to see at that next level, bro. This is gonna be fun to see unfold, man. And that's pretty much the wrap up for the select. Of course, we got Lance Madison. We got a couple of role playing guys that's gonna role playing generics that's gonna be into the combine as well. But no need to go over them. We're going to get over the important guys. And Daniel Glover. I think Daniel Glover is a guy that I added because I had to start reaching for some guys. So even though they could have did a good storyline overseas, if their talent was needed, and I feel like they're a pro that just needs to go, I think it's time. Daniel Glover showed flashes. His attributes is where they need to be. I just think he needs to do some work with learning his player and finding the best way to get those tendencies right and finding just the best team situation for him. I think Shaho and Eric Soto kind of had this team in the bag and knew what they wanted to do. And I think the organization kind of rallied behind that opposed to trying to figure out what Glover
Mhm.
was and where he fit. I think they just went with who they was hot, like who was hot. And yeah.
Nah, yeah, definitely, definitely. He's gonna be one of those like players to look out for. Like he has a lot of boom potential, but also a lot of bust potential. Right? He's
Fact.
just one of those what's gonna happen kind of guys.
For
Like
sure. For
is
sure.
he gonna go to a system that fits him? Is he gonna go to another system that really don't? Is he just one of those guys, man, that you just gotta like I mean, he showed flashes, like you said, like that last game against Select, 27 points. Like that's that's pretty good, especially
That's pretty good,
considering
not for sure.
his his uh his season so far up until that point. Like we was like, DG ain't really nothing, but he's
Fact.
showing he could do something, especially in the rec runs too. He was impressive there as well. So he's definitely one of those guys to look out for. He plays defense, which is another thing. He does play defense. At 6'7", 190. He's lanky. He
Hmm.
takes up space. He's
Definitely.
not an easy matchup. So he's definitely going
Definitely
to
not an
be
easy matchup.
one of those guys to look out for.
And then My God, shot of 5'9", Shot Hall, aka Coach Honcho, athletic director for Word of God, who is also about to have a big tournament run, man. Shot Hall, shot of 5'9", Mr. 5'9", showed
Five
crazy flashes.
nine
This kid almost had 50 in a game.
on
48 in
seventy-two
his
percent.
second game on 72%, 16 of 22, 10 of 15 from the three at 5'9", 155. This kid is, oh man,
Man,
oh
OMG,
man. Oh man,
ridiculous.
I got you, Zen. I got you. I'll show you the overseas list. I'll show you how the overseas list as soon as we finish this team. This is the last team.
Hmm.
So let me get through this team and then I'll show you how the whole 100. It's not in order, but I'll show you how the whole 100. I mean, the whole 67 that made it from overseas out of the 93 that we have out of 100 so far.
Right.
So let me get through these teams and I got y'all. But shout out 5'9", bro. Flash's kid is amazing. I think the right team could snatch him up. I think late rounds because of his size. You want to
Hmm.
get your main guy first, but I think if you could get him in another star in this draft, you're in great hands. You get him to play less of a scoring role with what maybe like a 1A guy like a Roden. If you get him to play like backseat to a
Hmm.
Roden, that's a crazy combo. Or Duke
Right.
or maybe like a Fenton or maybe like I don't know, like if you just get him with that type of guy, I see big success in your organization's future. Even if you get him with like a
Huge.
Russ Macy, a big that could take, a lot of pressure off of him.
Right.
I think you might be in for a treat with Shah Hall. Shah Hall, man, was a tremendous talent. Go check out those games for Partisan Nice in our overseas playlist. That kid is electric, man. The Simulation Basketball Association just got too much debt, man. Like we
It
got a
too.
lot of debt in 1 year. This is 1 year, guys.
Hmm.
I want to let y'all know this is 1 year. Like we really going so hard. Like look at, oh man, let's just keep doing the work. We don't even gotta talk, man. Like when I sit back and have these podcasts and I look at everything, it be like, wow, like we really got a lot, bro.
Hmm. For sure,
Crazy.
for sure. Like, man, Shy Hall, man.
Shah
Just
Hall.
like you said, electric, electric. And the thing about him is, even as an undersized guard, like way undersized, right? He picks his spots so well, like very, very well. He understands he's small. Right? He understands, he gotta utilize his other skills that he lacks in size, and he kills. He kills. Like you see the assist numbers. He's also a very good playmaker. You know what I'm saying? You got to stick on him
Absolutely.
because you let him get loose. That 48 is becoming a nightly thing, and you don't want that because you don't want that. And like you said, I think give him one of those guys that can be that guy and kind of take the load, the scoring load, and like the playmaking load off of Shy, and he will blossom. Like
Mhm.
he will be a very very good point guard for you in one of those later rounds. Like you might take a risk with the mismatches and whatnot, but I think he gives you more than he hurts you. He'll help you more
Mhm.
than he hurts you, and he's going to be very, very good in the pros. Very, very good in the pros.
Nah, definitely gonna be very good in the pros. I can't wait to see what Shahol becomes. Uh, and he's another guy that's just like active. He's definitely for the simulation community. That is like his thing. Um, yeah, like that is his thing. Sim is definitely Shah's one of us. Like Sim is like his heart. So I know he's always around lurking. He definitely supports in a major way. I chop it up with him. Been chopping it up with him for years. Knew the guy for like years now when it comes to football sim. I feel like known him maybe about 5 years now when it comes to these sim leagues. So big shout out to my guy Shah Hall, man. And then Olin pointed it out. So we gonna put it on the big screen. Eric Soto, one of the best generics, opened up the game with 41. This guy, Eric Soto. So I think he's a bit more of a veteran. I don't think he's that young. He's 24. Eric Soto's 24. That's good though. That's
Hmm.
good. That's good because this guy can shoot it at a high level, like 38%, 47% from the three line. 47%. He's Clay like too when it comes to that. When he's hot, it's like it could. It's like he don't
It's
miss. Like
dangerous.
he
Yep.
don't miss. 41, and then Shah Hall had 48 the next game. So it was like that was just a lot. But I think though the problem they ran into is having two guys like that on your team. That's not really like I, I feel like it's hard to get them to play together.
Right.
Because Shah is pretty much a good playmaker, and so is Eric Soto. But for some reason, they could never click at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like that was the issue, right? Like I feel like they just
Yes.
couldn't click for whatever reason for this at the same time. So
Right.
I'll let you
Right.
give your spill on Soto.
Right. Yeah. Eric Soto started off hot. I mean, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure he had the game winner that first game too. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty
I
sure
think
that
so.
game
Yeah,
came
yeah,
down
he
to the
did. He
wire.
did. He did. He did. He did. He
That
did.
that was the game winner. So like we saw, we expected a lot out of him. He kind of cooled off, like you said, with Shy Hall, coming to his own. They couldn't really click together, and that was one of their main downfalls. Of course, not being able to get Glover going as well, kind of like stunted them at the end, or towards the middle of the road. They started to get together a little bit at the end, but yeah, man, Eric Soto, he's definitely one of those off the ball catch and shoot type of guys. He's a very very good 3-point scorer. That's I think that's what I'll label him as, a 3-point scorer. Like not even
Yeah.
shooter, a
Now
three
that was
point
a good
scorer.
assessment.
He just shoots it at a high clip, man, and like he's going to be a guy that you see in a system where it's like he could be the third or fourth option, but you still got to guard him every single play because if he gets going, your team is in trouble.
Your team is in trouble. Absolutely. Shout out to Eric Soto, Puerto Rico in the house.
Hmm.
Generic out of Puerto Rico. 25 years old, I think I said, or 24. Yeah, 24. So 24 years old, still got like a lot of time to develop. And I think like he has a high ceiling. Like, you know what I mean? And even if he stays there where he stays at, like I said, or a minor drop off is still good at the SBA level, if I'm being honest. Owen Norris is another good generic that I just want to give some love to for a minute because um, I think what those two scorers kind of took away from his scoring, trying to get these two young guys going and trying to please these young guys when Owen Norris is 26, Xiao 23, Eric Soto 24. I feel like the organization was trying to please the young guys and maybe keep them, which we knew wasn't going to work with the SBA coming to town. You know what I mean? You knew like a lot of these young guys were just using overseas as a stepping stone to go to the SBA. You know what I mean? Like we knew that coming in, but I think Owen Norris and a lot of the veterans that's really good was in a weird place where they had to take back seats in their last year overseas because these organizations wanted to give their young guys shine, and it makes sense. It's a different dynamic. We early, in our we early as a league, so that dynamic happens. You know what I'm saying? In a year like this, and it is what it is. Just like next year, we won't have a rookie of the year. You know what I'm saying? Because it's everybody's technically a rookie. So, and that's cool. But moving on from there, we will, and we'll still have the other awards. So it's like, it's one of those things when like you're templating and creating a foundation humps that you got to get over. And in this class of overseas guys in particular, of overseas veterans, just had to deal with an unfortunate situation. There was no like uh like no yearly, it wasn't no yearly plans with these guys. And even if there's a yearly plan, um that kind of changed when you get a young stud. You know what I mean? Like you gotta
Right.
please him over the older guy, like out with the old
Hmm.
and with the new. It's just what happens. So that's pretty much what happened with Owen Norris, but he definitely was a stud. And I think he can, do some pretty good things at the next level. What you think?
Right, for sure, for sure. I like Owen Norris, honestly. Like I was just thinking to myself, just now, like these are going to be the guys that we look and be like, this was the key to their success. Owen Norris is one of those guys that's like, if your team does well, it's because he's playing his role and he's doing it so well. I mean, you see it, right? Like he's behind these guys in terms of scoring, but I think he was an undersized big too. I'm pretty
He
sure
was.
he
He was
he
like
was
6'9".
6'9", yeah, and getting 12, 13 rebounds in some games, like averaging 9 rebounds at 6'9", that's great, And he doesn't only play like the big man role. I'm pretty sure he slides to the three sometimes too, and
Right.
he's still doing
Right.
this. So very efficient as well. Can shoot the three ball. Like he's going to be one of those guys that we look in the stat or in the box scores and be like, this is a very good game from Owen Norris, and
Right.
he had some timely buckets, and this was the reason this team won. Like I feel that.
Nah, I completely agree, and that's why I like going through these things, and to it's not the most beautiful. Like, I mean, I don't know how people feel about podcasts nowadays like this. I know we in a digital era where everybody likes visuals and the fancy
Mhm.
stuff, but I think it's a very welcoming space for conversation when we have these storylines with these generics and
Right.
these user players. So I love the narrative. That's why I sit here and create the content with you and go in depth. This is why
Mhm.
I keep full games. This is why we don't do the fast sim ever, because I think it takes away so much of the story. And
Right.
I don't knock anybody that does that, but that's why we're who we are. That's why we're special. That's why we're the SBA. Nobody's doing it like the SBA. I promise you.
Absolutely
You
not.
can't go to no other league and see every game from your player. You can't. Like, and not in an organized manner like this where it's storylines and we can have these conversations. Like, we're having conversations about generic guys, and you guys can follow the story. And the players who were here, who were active, they know exactly what we were talking about. Like, they know these
Yeah.
guys just like that. They know Owen
Mhm.
Norris. They know, you know what I'm saying? Like, they know Eric Soto. So it's like, when you really tap in with this, that's why we get 10 viewers at 2 hours and 50 minutes, and we're not like viral yet. Like, we're not like a known league, but why is somebody watching for 3 hours when it's a spreadsheet and we're going through, simulation play stats is because this is what we do. We show every
Mhm.
game. Go to our playlist from high school to college to overseas to pro. We show every game. We
Every
have podcasts where we go in depth, where we give you this. We have a Discord where you can chop it up and get the organic reactions. If you want to be
Mhm.
creative and take your storyline where you want it, we allow that too. We allow that. Not that you can control the what's happening in the league, but you can control your players, storyline. If you want to get hit by a car, if you want to implement certain things, you want to sprain your ankle, like we welcome those things. Like, and I would implement it in the game. Put a
Mhm.
freaking arm sleeve on you, put an ankle brace in, and lower your attributes. Like, I don't do fake stuff, but I will realistically implement what you want creatively into your story as long as it doesn't affect anybody else and it doesn't affect like the natural outcomes. You know what I mean? Like, if you
Right.
want your player to been riding a bike in the off season and broke his leg, I'll do that for you. Throw a knee brace on him and everything. Lower some of his speed to make it realistic, but like, that's how we realistically simulate and role play. So we keep it real life. Like, we keep it as real as possible
Right.
with, which how you want to tell your story. And
Right.
I think that's the most special part about our league. I think that's the most unique part of our league. And I truly appreciate you guys, man, for rocking with us. It's been 2 hours long. I'm gonna show you guys the full rough top 100. Uh right now. Let's go right here. I should probably zoom out a bit so they can see the full 100, right?
Mhm.
If we can get it might be too small for them to see the full 60, right?
Probably, yeah, a little too small.
Because it's already small as ever. How does it look on the screen? Is it super small, like I can't see?
Uh,
So here's a quick list. I think you guys should be able to see. Let me see. Maybe I can make us small.
there we go. That's a little bit better. Yeah, that's better.
Yeah. So here it goes right here, guys. That's just that's just 41 guys. After you take some time to digest that and look over that, I'll go past 41 for you guys so you
Mhm.
can see who else is there. But these are the ages of the guys as well.
A lot of young guys, a lot of young cats coming in.
Okay, Olin said on his phone is unreadable unless he zoom in. So I'm gonna go back to 100 and I'll just show you guys, like, it's nothing
Hmm.
for me to scroll down. So let me know how that looks, Olin, because I know some people is on mobile. We try to be accessible to everybody.
Right.
So That should be better. 1 to 31, and then we'll go from 31 there. Our Discord channel would definitely have a better view. I'll post this list. Um, we could post it now, honestly. Jay, if you don't mind, uh, can you post that document in there?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, make sure the share link is not an editor though, like it's only a viewer, so they can't.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so pretty much, yeah. Shout out to my guy Alvin Mack in the building. That's Duke Spliff, guys. We definitely did a wrap up on your player. The championship is coming soon, Duke. So looking forward to seeing you and Ash there. Also looking forward to seeing y'all in the combine. Can't wait, man. We're gonna do that championship after the high school tournament. So like we can have the championship games in the same day, like a double header. So yeah, man, that's how I want to do that. So we could crown two champions that day and just like, give y'all flowers. I want to crown two champions and then I want to do like some little stuff for y'all. Like I want the next coming days, me and Jay could really sit down and like build up some content for y'all as champions together. So we kill two birds with one stone and then get straight into 2K24 and the combine. Because once y'all championships is done, it's no more 2K23 for us. So we're strictly on 2K24 once y'all championships are done. And yeah, man, that's pretty much it right there. I'm about to scroll down from 31 so y'all can see the rest of this list. We will post this list in the Discord as well. So make sure y'all look out for that. And yeah, man, my guys Ash and Duke in the building. Our league back in full fledged. My guy Eli. Yo, Eli, this was for the combine. If we have an invite for you, Manobo. We have a combine invite. If you want to come to the top 100 combine, we have an invite. If you declare, we can post the declaration. With the rest of the posts that we have for the break-in declarations, because we got an invite for you, Bonobo. I wanted to leave that up to you because I know you still was in college and maybe wanted time to develop, but we definitely have an invite to the draft for you. I mean, to the combine. So let me know. Let me know what you're trying to do, my guy. Let me know. I can add you to that list for sure. So yeah, this is the guys for overseas. The first video was get a bigger look right there. So the first video, episode 1 of Draft Express, was all college players for the combine for the rough top 100 list. We're gonna add maybe a few college players that you didn't see in that video, but also the next this video was overseas. So episode 1 is college, episode 2 overseas. We got some full game highlights dropping soon. We still gonna do podcasts. Even though this is a podcast type of thing, this is still considered Draft Express. So it's a different podcast than which would be our SBA Live podcast, which is the normal podcast that we do where we wrap up games and talk about hot topics. This was strictly Draft Express, making this top 100 list. We may have other podcasts where we have specific topics, where we talk about specific topics for 30 minutes to an hour. We'll have those hot topic podcasts soon, but I wanted to just do a draft special. So that way you guys can really just digest like what we have coming into the combine and into the draft. So Jo, any anything else you want to say?
Just appreciate everyone for rocking with us for 3 hours, man. I know this is a long one. It's a late one too, but this is what we do, man. This is just the work that we put in. This is how we do. SBA is back, baby. We back. Season 1 pros about to come full force. 2K24. Um, it's been a long journey, but we finally on that road, and content about to be crazy. We got some great ideas coming. We got some fire, concepts and things like that on the way. Just stick with us, and all will be great. All will be great for sure. Like, I'm excited to get started. I mean, I
Yeah.
know you are Mula too.
And
Like,
and, and just to highlight, pardon me, Ash,
mhm,
that's not the top 100. That is not in order. So let them know. Yeah,
right,
rough. That's why I say rough top 100 list because it's not the order. It's not the order at all. That's just the players when we were going through, looking through each team that we were grabbing. Like, okay, yeah, they're top 100 worthy. They're top 100 worthy. Those are not in order. There's no way that Ash and Duke split is 47 and 48.
right. Nah,
Like,
nah.
it's no
Never.
way Eddie is 49 and Jace and JJ is 50. There's no way Shah Hall is 52. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's definitely not the order, guys. So
Right, right.
do
We gonna
not,
come out with that soon, though, for
yeah,
sure.
we're gonna come out with that soon. We're gonna come out with the order soon, but that's for the podcast. You know what I mean? Like, that's what we'll have ready for the podcast. Like, that's podcast topics during the combine. You know what I'm saying? That's
Right.
not, I don't feel like that's before the combine type of things. Like, we can have it done before the podcast and post it so y'all can see how it moves up and down. That's what the arrows were actually for. But I think it'll be better just to like jump in the podcast, Draft Express, episode threes and fours with just like with just combine topics, combine stories. Like, that's what this next phase of SBA is gonna be. After the high school and overseas championships, and we start to create these new recruits and get them in, and we're going straight into combine mode. All content will be combine. So yeah, man, we definitely been working. Appreciate y'all for rocking with us. Yo, Ash, man, get with me. It's that season again. We got 80 new applications. Let me know if you can make some plays for me, man. Let me know what that look like. Let me know if you could get some players done for me. You know we appreciate all the help, man. Season 2, we back at it. We got a lot going on, man. Yeah, we try and get these pros going. Let me know if you can help out. Anytime you got works. We got the applications ready, same way they used to be. I actually got a job form now where I could give you access to, and you can look at all the applications from the rip. So uh yeah, we got that championship coming soon, so I'll let you know for sure. But I appreciate you guys for rocking with us,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Um, great pod, man.
Great.
Great SBA Combine, Draft Express, special, man. I think this is probably gonna be one of my new favorite times of the years, man. When we get to
Yup.
this off season and we get to Draft Express, I think Draft Express Combine is probably gonna be my favorite time because we're not even fully in Combine because we still in the playoffs for both high school and overseas. But this is the first time we get to really look at these lists and start to put this together as we close the end
Yes.
of the
Yes.
road. So
Sure, for sure. Appreciate you for having me, Moolah, man.
yeah,
It's good to get back on the mic with you, chop it up a little bit. We
definitely.
gotta tap in, bro. I'm trying to call some of these games, maybe.
Nah, let's
We gotta,
do it, yo.
we gotta do
Listen, if
that for
you
sure.
available, I'll take any help, man. We need more
For
staff, so if
sure.
anybody is interested in coming on and helping out, any help you can, we take it. You know what I mean? If you create plays, if you create graphics, if you could stream games, if you got P5, however you could do it, let's figure it out, man. So appreciate y'all for rocking with us. We
Yes, sir.
3 hours in and we still got an audience, man. Let me get a hashtag our league before we get out of
Our
here. Hit that
league.
like button, spam. I love y'all, man. Appreciate y'all, man. We really did it, Jo. We did the whole list. And even though we said we was only going to appoint people, I hope you know we still did like
We still did a lot. Yep.
57 out of the 67 players,
For
bro.
sure.
We
For sure.
like we literally only missed like 10 players. So we still got it done, bro. And that's what it's about, man.
All about.
I gotta work tomorrow, my last day of the work week. Um, I don't know if you got class, but we definitely gonna hit up, the Discord
For sure.
tomorrow when you free. Just hit just check in. We
Mm,
gonna finish up them college teams so we can reveal them soon. And yeah, man, it's looking good, man. The SBA is in very, very good hands.
mm-hmm.
Um, I'm excited to see where it goes from here. Appreciate y'all for rocking with us. I figure I'd throw us on for this closing. Hashtag our league. You know how we rocking. We ain't going nowhere.
No.
Anytime we take a break, know that it's for a reason. We upped it, man. New spot. I know y'all seen where we was doing the podcast from before. But we done switched it up, man. We done took it up a couple notches, man. The Mulaverse is in full effect. Remember when I was just sending out a blueprint of this? Remember when I was sending out behind the scenes of me on set? Now the films are out. We got our home. You know what I'm saying? The league is just going in bigger places, man. So it's
Moving.
like we the best kept secret in life, period. You know what I'm saying? Like in real life, in
Mhm.
sim world, and just what we got going on. We the best kept secret. So let's just keep flying under the radar, you know what I'm saying, till the whole world know us, and then we like, we told you, we
Yeah,
told y'all we was coming. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So
sir.
I appreciate y'all for rocking with us, man. You know I always gotta flex for a minute, man. I just really appreciate my guys, man. We built something special. But it's already 3 hours, 5 minutes. I ain't gonna hold you up. We still got five guys, Jo. We really the goats. That's why we
We
got the goat
really,
in the logo. That's
hey, everything happened for a reason, bro. Manifested. Yes,
Ex-
sir.
And that was the manifestation. We was like, yo, you know what? A goat in basketball, but we the goats. We at the
We the
top of the mountain. If you see the mountain at the bottom of the goat, you get what I'm saying? Do you see what we doing here?
we the
Do you
ghosts.
see what we doing? Shout out to my guy Alpha for the logo. I think we gonna keep that logo forever. It's just classy. Like it's
It's
just
perfect. It is perfect.
I still miss the OG logo at times.
Not
That
for real.
OG logo was clean. I ain't gonna lie. I think I might have to
Sure.
buy the rights to that logo when we get some real SBA money just to use it for nostalgic purposes.
That took us far, man. That took us far.
Yeah, but once we started to add that bag up, man, we had to pivot. Also merch, man. I want to know who's interested in merch. Like maybe I should wait till we get the pro teams and people get used to their pro teams to implement that. But I'm wondering if y'all want like custom player merch. And if y'all want custom player merch for sale and team merch for sale, like we could get that going. I just want to see if that's something y'all open to. If y'all open to it, let's do it.
Let's run it. Let's run it. That's a fire concept. Definitely I'm pulling out the JO merch for sure.
Like imagine the Jo show shirt, like Jo show, the five show,
Oof. Oof.
roll another one shirt.
Roll another
Uh
one, man.
Norway Nightmare with the like
hmm
flame emoji or something. Like we got so many concepts, the franchise, like
The franchise,
we
yo.
got so many concepts. We really could have a whole merch game on lock. Like we have a whole collection, a whole SBA fashion collection of like high fashion, like dope graphic tees and all that.
For sure, for sure. The vision is
But
there, man. The vision is there. Let us know.
nah, the
Let us
vision
know.
is there. Let us know. But yo, we can rock out here all day, man. Uh, SBA, man, where you never know what happens. But shout out to all my guys, man. Hashtag our league. Appreciate you guys for rocking with us. Jo, man, we might got to cook up a little podcast for the weekend, man. I like this. This felt good.
Nah, it does feel good, man. It does feel good. Like we in our element. This is what we do. Like this is what we do. This is how we rock. This is how we live. And we just do this for fun, man. And man, was it fun. This is a great pod for sure. Like we definitely bringing this back. This got to be a weekly thing. I feel like once we get the schedules set, like this got to be a weekly thing. I have fun. I know you have fun.
Mhm.
SBA, man, we back.
We back, baby. We back. Peace, though, guys. We out of here officially this time. I'm going to holler at y'all, man.
Peace.
Peace. We at that end stream.